Oh god, this show had a different intro. Okay, wait, I got it. Fuck. And we're on! No, wait, are we on? And then the High Spots logo comes up. Wow, you haven't fucking heard that one in a while, have you? I didn't update your guys' thing because you never came up with one. Do you want to do it right now, on the spot? You never told me what you wanted.
Well, it says very nice, very evil right now, and I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Is one of you nice and the other evil?
That's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
secret.
But you'll never guess.
We have our first special guest
Oh,
of the episode.
Yes! Say
Aw,
hello, special
kitty.
guest. Goodbye, Sable. Hello, Sable. Oh my god, we have Streamcat Trace. Hello. So exciting. Okay. Ugh. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another ravishing episode of Recap, the show where sometimes, occasionally, almost never, we get a bunch of people together, usually of the Los GBDs variety, and we talk about wrestling. It used to be I bring up people and I force them to listen to me be autistic for 2 hours, and then I stopped finding people whom in which were like, I don't want to do this anymore. But then I found people who actually do like it and do know what I'm talking about, so now they're here all the time. Very quickly, today's drink of the day is water because I forgot to get another thing again. I'm very tired. I've been doing this for so many days straight. I'm in a lot of pain right now. Today's candle of the day is Apple Orchard. It's a new one. That's right. We have new special guests on this show, just like we have new special candles. There's like spit in my mouth. There's a lot happening right now. I think in order for this to be a true AEW stream, we should have technical issues. So the cameras should crackle out, and then we should have like a hot buff man laying on a bed going like this and being like, so, how are you today? I tweeted something earlier and it's like, that's great, Gregory. Anyways, as always, now that we're back, because if you could believe, do you want to guess when our last episode of Recap was? Because I know the exact date. Do you want to guess when it was?
Oh God, no, I don't want to guess.
January 26th of last year. It's been over a year since we've done Recap. My beautiful, beautiful, cinnamon rolls. There you go. You all work at Cinnabon now. As always, joined by our lovely co-host up in the... I'm pointing. Right up there. August. Oh, fuck me. How do you... Oh, no! No! Yeah! We got there. I just, like, had to spasm my fucking wrist for 10 hours, and we got there. Tell them a cool fact about yourself, August.
I have a cat.
I also have a cat.
I love that. And next to August, in the same room, we have our, one of two special guests for the episode. Maple.
Hi, my name is Maple. You're not allowed to meet me.
I literally can't. I physically can't do that. And last but certainly not least, we have the one of legend that apparently I talk about all the time. Charles. We have the
Hello.
Charles. The
Charles
Charles breakfast.
Mr. Charles Breakfast.
Mr. Breakfast if you're
Please,
nasty.
That's my father.
Nah, Mr. Breakfast is my father. Call me Artemis Fowl. That's a reference for nobody.
I never read those.
Me neither.
I heard that the movie was terrible. And
I
that's
also
it.
heard the movie was shit.
Yeah, I read the first one and I thought the main character was really annoying and I didn't want to read anymore.
I
That's the
read
sign of a good movie.
the first one, and I thought the elf girl was cool, and the main character was really annoying and a good heel. So I read more of them.
Oh, word.
Belly.
So today, we're bringing back Recap, and today's Recap episode is going to be about the previous night's AEW Dynamite, which was June 7th edition.
It was Dynamite 192.
The fact that I've seen 192 episodes of Dynamite means I should probably be up for execution.
We have not reached enough. Well, wait, aren't we back? Oh, you have seen all then.
I've seen almost all of them. Now, if we're talking rampages, buddy, I've seen about 3 of those.
I've seen more
There's
than
maybe
you.
been like 100 of them. I've seen maybe 3.
They're nearly to
Maybe.
their 100th episode of Rampage.
They're on their what?
They're nearly to the 100th episode, if I remember.
Oh, fuck me, there really has been that. Wow, it's been several. Wow. Because I remember when the show, it debuted in, like, early August, because, like, they had the first episode of Rampage, and then they had the first dance, and then there was a Sable. Fun
Sable
fact,
was
did you
very
know
important.
that they made Collision as a TV show for Sable?
Yeah,
This is
she's
a-
the star.
She is. That's just true facts.
What do you mean? They invented wrestling for Sable.
They did. Like, wrestling was invented in like 1956 by Sable last name. Sable Wrestling.
Sable Wrestling.
Sable
and then
Wrestling.
They stole it from her.
In ancient Greece, they were like looking at like pictures of Sable, and they were just like, "Man, we have to wrestle for this kitty."
And they were like, you know, we have to. Speaking of kitties, hey,
Oh
come
my
here.
god, a second cat.
No way, there's another one. Ah,
Oh,
Stream
Tesla.
Cat. Oh, everyone say hi, Stream Cat. John
Tesla.
Wrestling. John Wrestling.
I
Thank you,
technically have a
Wrestler.
dog, but she's not coming up here because she's lazy and only loves downstairs. And my
Tesla,
father.
look, it's your favorite person. Look. Do you see him?
Hi, Tesla.
Thanks, bud. Oh, God. You're shedding in my mouth. That's really weird. Please go away.
She shouldn't. Lucy.
Oh, God. Thanks, bud. Hi, Ruby. Again. Also, hello, Colin. Do we want to jump into this episode of Dynamite?
Let's go.
Yeah,
To the
sure.
people who took notes. Not me. I don't do that anymore. I quit my job as note taker.
Yeah, first match. Orange Cassidy versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW International title.
Good match.
Actually, I think you mean the All Atlantic title.
Look, I remember the ads for Shazam. They changed it.
I blame Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, for the reason why the All Atlantic title has a stupid name now.
That's actually why Orange Cassidy is injured.
Is because of Shazam?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't realize he was beefing with a 10-year-old that can like turn into a grown adult. I think that's the plot of that movie.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I've never seen Shazam. I know.
Sounds right.
You what? Alright.
What?
Alright! Woo! And we're on! Alright. So, that was a good match, I think. I know
I
a lot
liked
of
it.
people were really pissed at the outcome, but,
And this is like, I'm like, I don't know if this means that Swerve is eventually going to get the title, or it's like he lost, so it's just moving on to someone else now.
I think they're gonna
Yeah,
have
I
a
mean-
rematch.
I wouldn't be mad.
I think Swerve would be a good champion, and I feel like he kind of has the like heel heat, and he has like the crowd behind him and all that. Like I think he could pull it off. The balaclava is a weird choice. He's just sticking with that one.
I think he looks nice.
He said the balaclava, I didn't choose the balaclava, it chose me.
No,
He's
literally
never getting
say-
rid of it.
My notes literally say Swerve's mask thing still looks stupid. Swerve is still hot.
He is
You
so
know,
hot.
the fact
Very
that he
handsome.
can be hot despite some of the outfit choices is high tier, I think.
Yeah, he's making questionable decisions.
I feel like that's Swerve's tagline.
Yeah, I can't tell if I like the Mogul Embassy or not, because it's like the only person of interest is Swerve and everyone else is kind of just there. And also Brian Cage, and he's
Oh,
really
Brian
just...
Cage and his yummy.
So yummy.
Mentioned Parker Bordeaux found dead in Jacksonville.
Yeah. And then
Literally, Trench and
Trench.
Parker have just been gone. I remember I first heard it as French, and I still think that's sort of a better name. Just French.
Honestly, I feel like French would be funnier. Imagine if
Yeah.
you walked out and you were like, my wrestling name is French.
He's not French, but that's
Not-
irrelevant.
That's simply irrelevant. I don't need to be French to be named French. Simply irrelevant. Plus, whenever I hear the name Trench, this is a side tangent now. We're just talking about some random guy none of us care about. So, about Trench, right? I hear that and I'm like, oh shit, my favorite wrestler, Trenchcoat Man? Word! But then no, I'm disappointed because it is some like white guy with face tattoos. Where is
I think
Trenchcoat Man?
I think it's so funny that they they had him like menacing around and they didn't like reveal his name for a while and all that. And then he just sucked so bad at wrestling that they just like completely pretend that he never existed.
They were like, word.
Big AEW moves is just denial. Shaq is still dead in a hospital, and so is Regal.
Yeah.
Did you know that Shaq and Regal are actually hey, a lot of wrestling has happened since the last time you saw this podcast. Shaq is still dead, and now William Regal was brought to life, had sex with Excalibur, and then died on the commentary desk.
They fucked
Regardless.
Nasty on the commentary desk and then he died.
I love lying to people on the internet because I want there to be like a generation of people who know nothing about wrestling, and then one day they get into it like in 15 years and they're like, hey, do you remember that segment on AEW Dynamite in 2022 where William Regal absolutely blasted Excalibur and then like died mid push, and everyone's like, what are you talking about? They're like, what? Huh?
Laid it down one dick style and then just fucking died.
What's that? What's that to you bouncing on it? He was bouncing.
Mhm.
I think we should stop. That's
None
the
of
end of the stream, guys.
Heaven.
That's the end of the...
The other part, I guess, that was notable is that Sting and regrettably Darby Allin.
Oh,
came
fuck
out.
me. I forgot that happened.
Yeah, it was a long. Like they literally like cut the lights and were like, "We're just gonna let you sit in darkness for like at least 10 to 20 seconds," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
The lights cut out, and I was like, "Oh, great! House of Black is here. That's gonna be cool. The feud with OC, blah blah blah." And then they did it for like an extra like 30 seconds, and I was like, "Wow, House of Black's doing it really badly this time."
Yeah, House of Black has their shit together. Sting and Darby don't know what the fuck they're doing.
See, that's
Wow.
the key. Since wrestling is real, House of Black can just materialize. They can actually teleport. Sting has to waddle down to the ring and then appear with his bat and his like weird son that he found in a garbage can.
Sting has to jump off something high into the ring.
I'm just picturing
Oh, wow.
Sting like shuffling.
Like a crab, like or just like
Not
just,
not Claudio style, but like almost like with a walker, because he's like what 60 million years old, almost as old as Luchasaurus
62.
and Bobby Fish, and he like that's not nice, but it's true. You know, they really should be giving these. I'm glad they started giving them the new like young champs a chance, like Sabu, because you know.
Sabu.
Bobby Fish is like easily 58 years older than Sabu. Died mid-nut? Yes, that's exactly what happened per previous conversation.
Yeah. He got one final one out, and then that was it.
Dude, it was probably the best experience. Like, Excalibur was like, this is the best experience of my life, and then he immediately had to go to a funeral. Like, that's so,
Very sad.
like, poor guy, right? Could you imagine the trauma? He's, like, been working with, like, Malachi Black to, like, resurrect Regal. It's just, like, they have, like, a little seance circle around him, and they're like, I'm putting the British back into him! They're,
Oh,
like,
yeah, I'm all
siphoning
in.
the fellow twinks around. Like, they're gonna take a little bit of Zack Sabre, they're gonna take a little bit of Kip Sabian, and they're gonna put their British juice inside of William Regal.
They're British.
This is the
juice.
worst bit ever. the worst bit ever. Call us
The bros have to unite together.
every single one of them. They're all just in a circle holding hands. Like, come on. They're British
just
juice. Yeah, that's the technical term.
I imagine much like Wheeler at a wrestling show, right? Excalibur's at his funeral, and he has to commentate it as it's happening.
He has a little dust.
I want my
after
funeral
by the
commentated
casket.
by Excalibur. Could you imagine him doing like that really fast card rundown, except it's like of all of my accomplishments? So he gets like 3 in, and then it's just like dead silence for like 2 minutes. And he's like, and now we're going to commercial break. And then the commercial is just like, I don't know, my dead corpse like dancing on top of the fucking thing. I'm like
Damn, not
dancing
even
to
in
Juicy, and it's like, hooray, dead people.
Not Juicy.
What do you mean not Juicy? You mean the best song ever made?
Lies.
No, hey. Tesla's rolling around on the
Fresh.
ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sting showed up, cool. And then Darby showed up, uncool. I would like to point out, and I don't know if Anthony Khan, owner and CEO of AEW, knows this. Orange Cassidy, fun fact, is a part of a stable. And not only that, he has many friends.
No,
Several,
Best
in
friend.
fact. Best friends, even, if you could believe it. It's not Darby and Sting. They're not them. I don't know what this, like, I feel like I'm being gaslit, honestly,
that's
every
literally what it
week
feels
that I
like.
watch this show. They're gaslighting me into thinking, like, did you know that Orange Cassidy has always been friends with Darby Allin? And I'm like, my brother in Christ. I think they have interacted. Maybe. See, my cat was scared of Darby, so she left.
Well, I think it all originated from like a house show that they like tagged together.
House
And then
shows
they were
aren't canon!
Because it was right before they did it for the Kansas City show. And then we were like, oh, one of the shows that was added was Darby, Sting, and Orange tagging together against people. I don't remember who. Oh, Kip Sabian and Butcher and the Blade. And that was the origin.
It's also weird that Keith Lee is there. It is fucking weird! But they also have to do it because they're like, oh shit, we forgot that, like, we had the Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee, like, breakup, and then, like, we decided to take Swerve Strickland off TV for, like, 4 months, and then the whole feud just kind of dropped, and now it's back, kind of. But now we also have to get Sting involved. We also, for some reason, still have Trench here, who's still not Trenchcoat Man. Messy.
No, I think what happened is Danhausen got injured, and Tony Khan was like, they're both twinks with face paint. They won't be able to tell the difference, right? Like, no one will be able to tell the difference. It's fine."
He's like, oh, this is substitution. No one will know. They're the exact same. Like, absolutely, Darby and Danhausen have the same, like, attraction with the crowd. No? Literally no. Honestly, you know what I want? This would be even better. Fuck all of the noise. Let's not have, if Orange is not allowed, since Orange is obviously more popular than everyone else in Best Friends outside of Chris, but Chris doesn't really, like, talk to them anymore for some reason.
But you see, she's a woman, so like she can't do anything to help because sexism.
I'm strangling him.
And then
Strangling.
You can't be either.
Huh? Again?
Unless you're Britt Breaker, where you can help, but not really.
True. She should be able to kill Chris Jericho, but they won't let her.
Mm-hmm.
Although, shout out to Adam Cole for escaping the Jericho feud vortex.
Okay, this is later
Shout
on
out
in the
to
show when
Big
we
A.
get to that, but like the fact that he was trapped in the Chris Jericho vortex, and the second he leaves, what's the first thing he does? Contend for the world title? The vortex is real. It's like it's the Chrisiverse. It's no longer the Codyverse. It's been passed on like a torch. And you get sucked into this little fucking vacuum, and then you lay there, dead. For months. Who is going to get sucked into the Chris Jericho vortex next? Please, place your bets into the Chrisiverse. who is going to get sucked into the Chrisiverse next? My money... Unfortunately, my money might actually be on CM Punk. Like, after he's done... After CM Punk is done absolutely ruining the career of Jay White, Chris is next! And they're just gonna go at it.
I was gonna say something controversial.
Please
Daniel
do.
Garcia is going to be having a match in Baby with Shibata, so Shibata in the
Ah! Could you? This is the only people I've ever seen in my entire life. Not even an old man fight. Listen. I feel like Shibata would punch Chris once and he would die. He would never wrestle again. I'm so dead serious. Honestly, someone get Shibata on the horn. Someone get him in there right now.
Look, I'll send him an email.
I'll say, hello, Mr. Shibata. I have an idea. I'm kidding. No one. We don't support dying on this stream. That's wrong.
I thought you were gonna say we don't support emails, and I was like, I'll go for that.
We're like a bunch of like 50-year-old people who was like, I don't know how to send an email, and it's like, oh my god, what do you mean you don't know how to compose an email? Don't you have a degree? It's like, no, they don't.
Everything else.
07s. To talk about wrestling, actually, a little bit, I really liked the Orange and Swerve match.
Yes.
I think they have really good chemistry.
I've got a theory as to why Sting and Darby Allin are there, right?
Oh my god, what is it?
Fan fiction, Darby Allin and Danhausen have been body swapped. And the novel for the fan fiction is Curses and Coffin Drops.
Now available on your local AO3. You could read that right now. The tags on it include fluff, angst, body swap, magic, alternate universe,
romance.
Romance.
I don't know why the next one that came to my mind was Catholic guilt.
I don't know.
That is
if
also
either
one of
them
the
are
tags.
Catholic, but like, let's make it up. Darby Allin and Danhausen right now have just converted to Catholicism.
I'm gonna write a fan fiction longer than the Bible about Danhausen and Darby Allin. That sounds like possibly the worst piece of fiction that's ever existed, and I say that having read Hey, quick aside, away from last night's Dynamite that we're reviewing. Hello, this is a PSA. This is a public swole announcement. In fact, I miss Big Swole very deeply. She's not like dead or anything. She's just she doesn't work there anymore. She's not dead. She's very alive. I love you, Big Swole. PSA, please stop shipping the Jackson brothers together. They're related and they're real life brothers. That's really creepy. Let's stop doing that.
They are twin brothers.
They are twin brothers who can read each other's minds, but that does not mean that they should have sex. That's really weird. Don't ever do that. That's weird.
I'll take a stance.
What's tell me your stance right now.
I'm against incest.
I'm against this.
Bold move, but I'm taking
no
it.
more. Anyways, that's your local PSA announcement for the day. Please stop writing incest. That's really weird. Anyways,
I can move on to what's next on the list.
Do you want to move on to the next thing on the card?
Well, it's not on the card. I just wrote everything that happened. The next thing was a promo. Well, Bryan Danielson came out to his little song. And they played his little music, and he was like, "Mwahaha." And then they had,
he came out they
had the promo, for Forbidden Door for him versus Okada, and he was basically like, "Ahaha, I'm so better than him," and you know.
That fucking video where Brian's like, I want to fight Okada because I'm the best in the world and I'm so good, and Okada responds with, I don't know who you are, little bro, but I'll fight you anyways. He said, I don't know who you are, I've never seen any of your matches, but I'll still beat you. And I'm like, that's so word. I love Okada. And I also love Brian.
Him.
So
well, I love both, but Okada should win. I want him to win. He should win. I love him.
That might be a controversial opinion.
It will be, because I believe he's gonna lose, because it's usually they have like home turf people win.
I was gonna say, last Forbidden Door, I think like one person from New Japan won, and I think it was Ospreay of all of them.
Whatever.
It would be
I do have one thing about that promo.
Yeah.
Which is the thing I told August after Dynamite, which is they had clips of Bryan Danielson in the desert. Is this why Wheeler Yuta was in the fucking desert doing head bridges?
They like
So they-
filmed 2 different things there.
Yeah, they brought Yuta out because he needed someone to hold the camera.
I want to believe that's so bad. He's like, oh, I guess it's my fucking day with Wheeler. I guess I'm gonna take him on my excursion today. You want to hold the camera, buddy? And he's like, yeah, please, Dad, pay attention to me. I would love to hold your camera for you. He's just like begging for Brian's attention at this point. He's like, yes, I'll do anything. Because apparently he just forgot that they hated each other a few months ago, just like the entire story did, but they keep forgetting a lot of things about that story. It's not something I'm like angry about or anything.
Well, should we get on to more stuff that'll make you angry?
Oh, deeply angry? Of course, I would love to do that.
Because next was Blackpool Combat Cup, BCC versus Chaos.
I think you mean the BBC.
I do mean the BBC.
The Blackpool Bottoms Club. My favorite people.
You know it.
You know it.
So yeah, we got Rocky, my man Rocky. Very happy.
Rocky,
Very upset that he was the one who got pinned or tapped out or whatever.
Silver
Rocky for
linings, they did not pin Chuck Taylor. Put it in your notes. Mark your calendars. Dude, during Pride Month, they didn't pin Chuck Taylor during Pride Month. That one was for the gays. Specifically the bisexual women on Twitter. Yesterday was y'all's day. I'm so happy for you. They did not pin Chuck Taylor.
Baby girl Chuck Taylor.
Baby girl Chuck
Second
Taylor.
place, baby girl Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, runner up.
Runner up. Oh, always,
I
always
think-
the bridesmaid, never the bride.
I think objectively Chuck Taylor is more baby girl than Hangman, so I refuse
But
to.
personally,
Ah.
I'm always gonna root for Matt Jackson. So,
This is where you're both wrong.
uh-huh.
I was gonna jokingly say it's Billy
Okay.
Gunn.
It is Billy
It's daddy
Gunn, though.
ass.
Okay, see,
But
I
I'm
love
Team Danny
Hangman.
Garcia.
If you were at a restaurant with Hangman and they got his order wrong, he would talk to the waiter himself. If you were at a restaurant with Chuck Taylor and they got his order wrong, you would have to talk to the waiter for him, and that is why Chuck Taylor is the ultimate baby girl.
Here's the thing, though.
I
I feel
understand your reasoning.
that's actually a really good reason, and I understand that. Like, it's straight up that he asked for no pickles. But like the thing is like, side tangent. I feel like if I was at a restaurant with those two men, I feel like neither of them were talked to the waiter, but for different reasons. Chuck would not talk to the waiter because he is lazy. And he's like, I don't particularly care that they got my order wrong. I guess I'll just eat it anyways, because who the fuck cares? And you'd be like, no, that's not what you ordered. And he's like, dude, it's all gonna taste the same. Because he's like probably high as shit or something. That's not a comment on, what's his name, Dustin? That's not a comment on Dustin. I'm sorry. But, like, whereas for Adam, he's like, I don't want to talk to the waiter because I don't want to inconvenience service workers. Also, I don't like talking to people very much. So they're both baby girl in separate ways, in my humble opinion.
And see, in my humble opinion, Matt Jackson would utilize his baby girl effect. With
He
his
would
Google
start
eyes.
crying and shitting his pants and being like, ow, my back hurts because I'm missing pickles. Oh,
But-
God.
And exactly, and he wins.
And he wins.
In my heart. Also, Wheeler Yuta continued to attack Chuck Taylor after the bell. My other last note.
I feel like y'all need to put your opinions out there before I start screaming again, because I have so many opinions on this whole thing. Because, like, BCC and best friend subsidiary Chaos, favorite things. I have many opinions, but I've been screaming for like 10 minutes. Someone else say something.
I think Chuck Taylor should have pinned John Moxley.
I think Rocky should have pinned John Moxley. I think he should have made him tap. Let's hear it for Rocky.
Let's hear it for Rocky Romero.
They also should have played Roppongi Vice. I was really salty that
They
they played
didn't
this
play.
music. It's like, if you're gonna call them Chaos, let's actually hear some New Japan music.
For no reason.
I want to hear Rocky's. He also has a new song. Let's hear his new song.
Does Rocky like still wrestle in New Japan? Is that why he's like part of Chaos and everything? Is he, like-
So Rocky
Person.
Romero works in New Japan. He does stuff like backstage, and he's also a wrestler. The most stuff that I've seen him do recently is that
Robinson.
Ricky.
but he does stuff with CMLL, and then he also does stuff with New Japan. But like he's more in Chaos than Best Friends are. Like,
Well, that's because he's
He's,
actually
like-
in Japan a lot.
yeah, like he's buddy with Okada.
I mean, if we're going off of the New Japan website, fucking Yuta is still in chaos.
Okay, well,
So technically tonight he fought his own. Hey, technically Chaos won tonight. That's all I'm saying. Technically, he won tonight.
Made Rocky Cap, so
That was really traumatic for me. Also, Claudio killed Greg. Fucking murdered him. Just.
I did like on commentary, Danielson was like, look at the people that I choose to spend my time with, and look at the people who Okada chooses to spend his time with.
I don't even know the last time Okada's seen Best Friends.
There's that one picture of them, like when he came around for Forbidden Door last year. There was that one picture of them all hanging out together.
A year ago, he's seen them.
Okay, well,
Fighting the third buck Kazuchika Okada.
he's the third young buck.
He is.
Additionally, I loved how this match started with BCC are coming down, wild thing, you make my heart, so they're doing that, they're coming down here, and then Chuck just absolutely launches like a bottle rocket, a fucking chair at the back of Claudio's head, and I'm like, damn, they were like, actually, fuck these guys and our ex-son, we're gonna kill him. And they should bring that energy more, where they're like, we're gonna cheat, we're gonna kill you. They should have done it more. In fact, they should have
get the
won.
I feel every time Best Friends come out, I expect them to be absolutely crushed, as if they're like a jobber or the boys or something. And
Rip the boy.
R.I.P. the
Rip the-
boys.
but every time they put up a really good fight and they wrestle really well, it's almost like they're really good at wrestling.
Or something like that.
I feel like
What?
I feel like you're winding me up right now. You're winding me up a little bit because I have many opinions. So being a Best Friends fan is like going to war, right? It's like being a Marine, except way harder.
Suffered more than Best Friends fans.
No one has suffered more than people who like Best Friends as a tag team, and I guess Best Friends wider as a stable. Even though that's stupid, why did they call them that? I'm not getting into that. Those are semantics. But my favorite thing, except it's actually, surprise, it's my least favorite thing. When commentary is like, wow, these Best Friends guys are such good wrestlers. Like, wow, Chuck Taylor and Trent are really underrated. They're so good. And I'm like, you absolute cunt bags. You say this every week as if it is a new surprise to any of us. It is only surprising because I think their record right now is actual doo-doo fart garbage. Like, they have a shitty record right now. Unless you watch ROH. I stand for ROH. And then the whole thing with... And then the whole thing with Yuta and how they're never going to give us a real story between them. And how it's, at this point, I was telling Charles last night when we were watching it, I was like, at what point do Best Friends be like, actually, Tony Khan, fuck you. We are not wrestling BCC anymore. We have lost every single time. If you want to fight them, you do it yourself. Because every single time we do that, we lose in embarrassing fashion. This son is not worth it anymore.
It's rough out here.
The match
Sorry,
was
I
good,
just
though.
realized that I have 5,700 channel points. And I could use my powers for evil. I'm not gonna do that, but I could.
No, you should go ahead and use them for evil. Go for it. If it's what I think it is, I deserve it. So you should do it right now. I'm getting it ready already. Oh. I thought you were going to shush me. I thought you were going to make me shut up for 3 minutes so you guys could talk.
Yeah,
I
I know that's what I was gonna do.
thought you were gonna do that. I was preparing things to say to make Wheeler angry.
I mean, honestly,
Evil.
I'll just continue to be quiet for the next few minutes so that you guys can talk and have your opinions on this match, because apparently I have too many. Let me pick a figure.
You don't have too many opinions. I like hearing you speak. That's why I make you angry, so I can hear you speak.
I don't know if that's a good idea. That sounds like a bad idea, actually.
I have no more remaining opinions on the match other than Rocky
He's so
Romero
dusty,
should have
fuck.
won. That's my only opinion.
Yeah.
Let's hear it from
No.
Rocky.
I'm gonna open a Christian cage while we do this.
Evil man.
We're gonna open
Evil.
Zaddy, who was on this show, like, briefly.
Dill. We'll get to him.
He murdered, like, a child.
Oh, after that match, the hungbucks challenged the BCC. And Excalibur kept calling them the hungbucks on commentary, and I love him for that. He's so brave.
He's so real for that.
Because I was just paying attention to like the Young Bucks that I was not listening, and I'm so proud of Excalibur. He's calling them their true name.
Not like the match graphic. They're cowards.
See,
They are cowards.
It was so funny because, like, I didn't have the time to prepare for the whole hungbucks thing and, like, seeing them together. They're like, oh, hey, BCC, how are you, pricks? And, like, you know, they do the whole thing and they get called hungbucks and everything. I was still busy crying over Yuta putting elbows into Chuck's face as hard as he could until he passed out. Meanwhile, Charles is sitting across from me, like, giggling, and I'm like, give me 2 minutes and that's where I'll be. But right now, I'm still in my feels. But that's so exciting.
I'm
Next
still
week is gonna
writing
be
that
so
high.
good.
Because they haven't done a trios match for forever. Just the three of them. So
Dude, during
I'm
Pride
thrilled.
Month,
For the gays.
they knew what they were doing. Hungbucks during Pride, that's what I think's.
I have 2 questions about the match, though. Well, one
Yes.
question at a time.
Of course. What
The
are
first thing
questions?
When best friends were in New Japan, did they always lose at that point still?
I
Or
haven't
No,
watched
actually.
a ton of their matches, but they did. I think, to my knowledge, like they never won. They have never won belts. There, Roppongi Vice did win belts.
Yeah, several times. I think 3
so-
times.
Chuck and Rocky did well, but Chuck and Trent did not as like. I mean, I think they were fine.
Yes.
I just haven't watched a ton of their matches.
Sometimes I think about that interview where, like, Dustin and Greg straight up when I think we should stop being a tag team because, like, we literally lose all the time. Like, we suck together. Why are we still a team? And it's like... And I think that's also the interview where Chuck literally goes on, like, an entire thing where he's like, you know, like, you're with this person every week and you're like, oh, it's actually fake and we do it for the cameras and I actually hate him and he annoys me and he has, like, opinions on everything and stuff. But then, like, he's gone for a few days and you're like, oh, wow, I miss my wife. I miss my husband and I actually really love this person. And I'm like, dude, are you best friends if people aren't constantly asking you, are you two dating?
So I also feel like the match was a little short, and I looked it up, and I think it was 8 minutes,
Oh, was
which
it
means
really?
that was Roppongi concise.
It sure was, Maple.
Nice.
But
I
also-
was thinking of you when they came out. I was like, wow, Maple will really like this opportunity to tell jokes.
The opportunity.
See, I was also thinking of you, but like I didn't say anything because then I knew that you would keep on going.
I told myself I'd say 1 in this
Hey, it's
recap,
about-
and then
I'm really impressed with your, withhold. I am blanking on the word, but like
Restraint.
your constraint. Yeah, that's it.
but also seriously, that match was kind of like 8 minutes long, and that's weird.
Yeah.
Honestly,
No.
it's funny you brought up, like, the boys earlier. When we were first going into that match, I was like, are they gonna Dalton and the boys them? Like, is this gonna be like a 2-minute match and it's gonna be fucking over?
It wasn't even 2 minutes.
So mad about that.
I'm pretty sure the Dalton and the Boys match was 48 seconds.
Yeah,
Something like
it was.
that.
Dude, we were there. We were in the crowd, and I was so pissed. I was like, man, I was excited to see Dalton and the
We
boys.
watched literally live murder. It was very painful.
It made me upset, but at the same time, I got to see my little sweet babies who have never done anything wrong ever in their lives. BCC are all
They
good.
personally. They knew that I would be there, and they did that to me personally.
They did. It's true.
It's a man.
There you go.
Look at
There's your
him.
Kristen Cage. I think what I want to do on my display, they're all the way down there. You can't see them, but I have a Jungle Boy and a Luchasaurus, and the Jungle Boy is on Luchasaurus's shoulders. I think just like creeping in the background is where I'm gonna put the Christian Cage, just kind of looming.
But if no one has anything else for BCC and the Elite stuff, the next thing was a promo for Kenny versus Ospreay for the IWGP US Heavyweight title for Forbidden Door.
Ah, yes.
It really just like sounds like that. He's so British. Whenever I see him, I'm just like,
He
he's
constantly is saying bruv all the time.
Shit,
Bruv.
bruv.
He was also pretty heavily insulting Canada in backstage comments on New Japan, so pretty harsh. Which caused some people from like I think Renee and like Matt Menard were both on Twitter like, excuse you.
Hey.
Yeah. What are Canadians gonna do about it? Apologize? That's a
I don't
Canada.
think RJ City would like you saying stuff like that.
Sorry.
no Canadian.
Known Canadian RJ City. They should, they should have RJ City beat MJF for the world title.
Yeah, they should.
I would watch the shit out of that. But yay, Ospreay and Omega are gonna fight at Forbidden Door, and Kenny's gonna lose.
I will be
in something that is
having mixed
unfortunate but
emotions.
necessary.
I will have mixed emotions about it, but I feel it'll be for better, hopefully. I don't fucking know. It's just the first match was just so good that it's like I don't understand why we ever need any
Needed
more
another.
ever again. I gotta see him hit the.
You don't have to like do it again. It's
Oh.
it's fun.
So when Kenny was leaving New Japan,
Yes.
Will Ospreay gave Kota Ibushi a concussion, so
Not
Kota
intentionally,
Ibushi
but yes.
couldn't see Kenny off, right?
Yes.
So what if, when Kota enters the company later in this BCC feud, Will Ospreay gives Kenny a concussion, so Kenny can't see Kota come into the company?
And then you
That
see
sounds
me
like some
sobbing
shit they would do.
loudly in a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have another Double or Nothing 2022 moment where I just collapse onto the ground and start like crying in real life. Oh, what a horrible night.
Anyway, MJF and Adam Cole.
MJF
Oh my god, Adam Cole flamed him! He absolutely, it's hilarious. And you wanna know, so, I feel like MJF's promo would have been really good if it were about 5 minutes shorter.
I saw the segment on Twitter. Someone posted the full thing. It was 16 minutes, and MJF spoke for about 10 minutes.
Wow, no wonder I wanted to put a fucking bullet through my head. And
Yeah, it was a little long, one could say, as that's the length of, I think, Swerve and Orange's match. 16 minutes.
Are you dead serious?
I'm not joking.
Oh my god.
He cut off Adam Cole's entrance. What the fuck?
That's the most villainous thing he did the entire time. Instead of all the random bullshit he was saying, instead of name-dropping Vince McMahon, instead of, for some reason, bringing up stuff that people, say on Twitter, to which Adam correctly was like, you sound like a fucking weirdo on social media. And I was like, hey, got him! Even though I'm also a weirdo on social media, except I'm not weird like the ones that are, for some reason, really, really mean to Adam Cole, who's just like a puppy dog if they were a human.
Yeah.
And
also hot.
He's so cute. I want to pinch his cheeks. And it's like, you know, like MJF's like doing all those things where like he remixes the Karrion Kross promo that Adam Cole had back in NXT, and that was the one time where I was like, hey, ha, he did the thing, yay, they brought it up, they ring the freaking bell, to which Adam Cole starts talking and you go, oh, that's why that worked the first time, because Adam is very good at getting his point across very quickly. But you know, like MJF's like bringing up like he brings up like the whole like Adam's like physique and stuff, and I'm like, I don't like it when people comment on other people's bodies, because it's just like, that's not how you concisely bring someone down. If I wanted to insult someone until they cry, I'm gonna make fun of their ethics and their morals. I'm not gonna be like, actually, you look like this and this, and it's like, girl, get a life, stay away from her.
Yeah, it was not fun to watch.
It's
MJF's
like,
thing was boring pretty quick, and then because of the fact that MJF's was like so long and tiring and just rambly, Adams was like, wow, so concise, so to the point, so
I was like, girl, got it
biting.
done with.
At least so much better.
Yeah.
And
MJF with the suicide joke and the joke about drug addicts, and I think it just kind of went downhill from there.
yeah, I like someone, so people have been keeping track of all of the people like MJF has like fought so far, and like he made this list when he first became champion of like people that'll never beat him for the belt, and like second to last is Adam Cole, except he writes Adam, my brain don't work so I can't cope, Cole, even though like Adam Cole almost died in real life, and I'm like, that seems a little tasteless even back then. Oh, that's the point, he's being a heel. Heels can be fucking evil without being tasteless. Case in point, Jay White. Thanks.
Damn,
I was like, literally, you can be a good heel without doing bad stuff. And that's not me saying that MJF is a bad heel. Contrary to popular belief, even though for like the last like maybe 10 minutes, coincidentally, we've been like shitting on MJF, I like him. He's a good in-ring wrestler, and he can get points across. He can tell really good promos. Literally, one of my favorite things is him doing that promo in Long Island where he's like, we got any Jews in the house? Amazing. He's like, shout out to my ADD people. Fuck this teacher I had. And the whole crowd just starts like chanting like, fuck this woman. Funny, amazing. I like MJF. It's just sometimes I feel like he doesn't know when to quit, because he thinks that, oh, if I talk for longer and I use more words, and like if I name drop stuff and if I do all of this worked shoot bullshit, that it's the best promo anyone's ever heard and everyone will say that they love it. And it's like, occasionally that'll work well. Like the very first work shoot promo he did where he was like, fucking fire me, and he's like cussing and screaming, that one was good. Also, I think that one was only like 7 minutes. If someone could just be like, hey buddy, this could be super effective if you just trim it a little bit. Like, just cut it in half by 50 and... Yeah. And someone else pointed this out, and I feel like I agree, and I want to see if you guys agree as well. With MJF's, like, title reign and the stories he's had so far with all of his other opponents, it feels like they are telling the same story over and over again. They just sub out the person who is on the other side of the ring when he just starts rambling.
Oh yeah, they're all the same.
I feel like, so this is...
No, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say, so it feels like MJF to me is what happens to... I'm gonna relate this to book writing. Basically, there's a thing when like an author becomes really, really big. Basically they can get this thing happens where their editors will basically stop really editing their books as much, or since the author has a lot of control and they know that a bunch of people will just read their book, buy it, and give them money no matter what, they basically stop editing their books and they get thicker and thicker and thicker and more rambly and more like less good, but they're so big that people still buy their books. And that's what I feel like is happening with MJF, is that he's the world champ. People still listen, people still cheer. So it's like he's still getting attention. So they're like, well, he can then continue to ramble for 10 minutes and it's fine because people still like, interact with that. So I don't think this is gonna go away. And that makes me irritated because it's getting really boring.
And it sucks too, because like I'm sitting here and I'm like, I know he can be good.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just not a 14-year-old kid with an IQ of 300 and I just don't watch Rick and Morty and that's my problem. Where I don't understand. It's too big brain for me. That like, oh, he's a like, you know, he can be good, but he's choosing to be bad on purpose, and that makes him even more villainous and evil. And I'm like, you dumb motherfucker. That's not how it works. Now I'm just annoyed, and every time he comes on screen, I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna have to listen to this motherfucker talk for another 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna have to sit here and scroll on Twitter, wasting my time. I literally think during that promo at one point, I tweeted, sometimes I like to pretend Adam Page is still the world champion. And by the time I was done and, like, did other things, he was still talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's cool. And I know that next week they're gonna say even more stuff.
Well, he's fighting next week, so they'll at least do
That's
that.
true. I know he's big pissed that he actually has to wrestle on Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Yeah,
I think
he's
as punishment, they should put him on Rampage.
That's
They should put him on
damn. That's funny. What were you gonna say,
They said,
Maple?
what do they do to make MJF cool? Ring the bell. And my note literally says, yeah, they do that every once in a while.
Like every 3 months they ring the bell and wow, he's so cool. To which Adam Cole
like,
gets on the mic. Sorry, what?
He very rarely defends his title. I think the only champion that didn't defend as much was probably Hangman.
Which is so...
No, he defended it 6 times during his reign, and it's already shorter than MJF's.
Oh my god.
Like,
Nothing.
Kenny defended his 6. I love little stat things like this. Chris defended his like 2 or 3 times. John defended his like, I think, total 11 across all of his reigns. Kenny did 6. Adam did 6. Punk has never defended a title.
That's
and
so
then
he
never
That's the
he
funniest
got
thing.
injured.
I love it.
And
Both
then
times.
MJF has defended it 3 times.
I see. Maple and I were talking about this, I think, like last week, because she knows all of the magic ways to get me very riled up and then make me rant for like 2 hours because I have lots of opinions as the lore history keeper, and this is one of them where it's like, what makes me so angry about that specific stat of Hangman having only defended the title 6 times and having it already
like,
shorter.
Has the second most tied with Kenny.
Yeah, but at the same time, he has held that title now for less time than MJF. And it's like, he like literally has gone on record and said, I wish they would have let me wrestle more. They just fucking didn't let me. And I'm like, why would you not let your world champion? Literally, example A. Orange Cassidy as All Atlantic champion. The most defenses ever. The only one even close is Jade Cargill with the TBS title when she had it.
Jade has 1 more defense than Orange does. Orange has, I think, 24, and she had 25 defenses.
That's so crazy to me. It's like, you can have a champion that defends the title all the time and be good at it. It's like, when are we going to get a world champion that really has the chance to defend it a ton of times? I mean, I feel like you could have said, oh, well, that's Jon Moxley. And I'm like, that's because he's held the title 3 times.
Yeah, I forget how much he defended it for each reign.
I think the first time he defended it 9 times, one for like almost kind of every month or so. The second reign, I think he defended it like twice, and then the second reign he defended it like once, and then the third reign it was like twice or so. Shout out to last summer. Awful time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, Jon Moxley defended it 9 times his first reign, when he was the temporary, whatever the term is, I forget. He defended it 3 times, but doesn't count because he wasn't world champ.
Because he was interim.
He was just holding it. And then he defended it twice on his third reign and 0 on his second, because he officially.
See, I feel like he wrestled more than that, but I guess like I'm just remembering like BCC like tag matches and stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he could have just wrestled a bunch of matches that just weren't for the world title. Because I feel like even without them being title matches, like, John just loves wrestling, so he does it a lot. And it's like, I understand that Max's whole thing is that he doesn't like wrestling and he likes to make a lot of money or whatever. But, like, at some point, we have to sit here and be like, does that make an interesting world champion? Is a guy who doesn't do his job?
Well, I just think it's
Mhm.
interesting because we have Chris Statlander who won her belt like what, like less than like a week and a half ago or whatever, and she's already defended it twice in like official capacity, and then she also defended it twice in house shows. And it's like she's already held it like less time, and she's probably within the next like 2 weeks going to have defended it equal to MJF or more.
I'm
So
crying. If we
I
count.
just think that's funky, a little funny.
This is so random, you saying that. It has nothing to do with anyone we've been talking about right now, but, like, if we count house shows, that means that Chris has technically defended the TBS title more times in 2 weeks than Daniel Garcia defended the pure title in, like, 4 months when he held it because he was stuck in the Chris vortex, which he's still stuck in.
Yeah,
That's
it's
just really
rough.
funny to me. Anyways, Chris Statlander for world champion. She's beaten MJF on the independents several times.
She beat
From
him.
before.
Okay. Do we want to move on to different things?
I mean, I feel like we've said all there is to say about the Max and Adam
Okay.
promo. Other than Adam just, like, being like, my girlfriend could kick your ass. Also, you're fucking a dumb bitch, and I think you should fight me. And then he somehow manages to get the mysterious man to fight him. My bro got powers, I guess.
He does. The Hardys and Isaiah Cassidy were backstage, and they brought out Ethan because Matt now owns Ethan's contract, and
He
Matt
just
was
owns
like,
Ethan Page, which don't own people. That's weird, but
no, he owns his contract.
this is contract.
And he was like,
Yeah.
hey, you should apologize to Isaiah. And he did, and Ethan wants to make not Ethan, Matt wants to make Ethan a better man.
Which is funny.
Personally,
because
I'm
Ethan
delighted
is...
by this whole thing.
I know. I like it a lot. When he's like,
think it's
now
funny.
shake his hand, and Isaiah goes... I love Zay.
No, they're all so funny, and I am really happy that we have like this storyline running that's only purpose is to just be like funny and weird.
Yeah, I wish we had more comedy things.
I genuinely think it's just gonna be the storyline is Matt is like, Ethan, you have to be good. And it's either gonna be Ethan just like, I'm not fucking gonna be nice, I'm gonna lie. Or it's genuinely gonna be a story where Ethan does become a better man and then at the end turns on Matt. Like, I feel like he's not gonna stay good, but I'm excited to see what happens.
I would love to see them do, like, backstage, like, almost like Impact TNA style, like, clips of, like, comedy things where it's like, all right, this is goodness lesson number 1 where we turn Ethan Page into a good person. And it's like them doing, like, fucking bonding stuff where it's like, all right, we're gonna go play frisbee outside. And oh no, your frisbee hit a small child nearby. Go apologize to the child. And Ethan's like, actually, fuck this kid, and throws another one at it.
It's Disney's live action Lilo and Stitch, but their cast is Lilo and Stitch.
Oh my
This
God.
is your badness chart.
Oh, this would be a better live action movie than whatever they're doing for Lilo and Stitch.
That is true.
But I'm genuinely like, this was so fun, and I've loved following the story since it was really just more on like Dark and Elevation, and I'm happy. I'm so happy with it.
Just another reason why Dark and Elevation was amazing and they shouldn't have gotten rid of it.
Still sad every day. Well, mostly Mondays and Tuesdays because that's when I miss it. But still.
Also, hi Kenny, you just woke up. What did you miss? What?
Stuff.
Us ranting about like 3 different things, and then making jokes about like Excalibur having sex. So I don't think you missed a lot.
Well, she hasn't missed her favorite, which is next.
Oh,
Hulk and
yeah.
Jack Perry.
The Jack Perry match.
Versus Preston Vance and Jalistico with Jose the Assistant in a Texas Tornado tag match.
Preston's tits look so heavy. And like, why did they have to put him in this group and make this like his whole thing? He was doing fine before.
He was fine as 10. I personally hate him with a burning passion. Mostly joking. But I just think it's to me, it's the thing of like there's Swerve Strickland, and then you put him next to Trench and like Parker Bordeaux, and I'm like, how on earth do you expect Trench or Parker to look better in this situation when there's obviously Swerve right there? And that's how I feel with Preston, where I'm like, Roosh is literally right there, and he is like literally perfect and beautiful and a perfect heel. And then you put him with Preston. I don't care about Preston.
He doesn't speak Spanish, can't pronounce his own nickname, and also was doing that weird thing with like stealing lucha masks, which is just like.
And he stopped that, but like, I hated that.
He bled a lot during this match though, and I was
He
like,
did
"Good
bleed.
job! I'm proud of you."
do
And
like
and all the hook girlies on all the hookers online were like, "Oh my god, Hook is bleeding! Oh my god, he's in white! Oh my god, he's so hot!" And I'm like, you know, he's pretty darn cute. But the real standout, Jose the assistant took his shirt off and was like, "I'm ready to go!" Woo!
He is very
My
very,
favorite
he's good.
wrestler, Jose the assistant.
Him and
I think-
Alex need to have a match one day.
Yes.
Versus Michael Nakazawa.
We need like a match that's just all like managers in like seconds. I would love to see like Prince Nana try to fucking beat up like
Mark Sterling.
sure, Mark Sterling, that works. The first one my brain jumped to was Julia Hart, and I was like, oh, Julia would kill him.
She's a wrestler. I know Mark has also wrestled, but he hasn't. Like, he's now just a lawyer. So
He sometimes you don't never quit your day job. Maybe he was a lawyer first. I can't remember.
Sterling. The match between John Moxley and Mark Sterling.
Oh, I love that match. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen.
It's
we
very
will
good.
eventually.
Now that Wheeler brings it up, I do want a like Blackjack Royal Rumble that's just all the managers.
We're gonna get Stokely Hathaway in there.
Let's go, Stokely.
Let's go, Stokely! The biggest Stokely fans right here.
If Stokely Hathaway has 1 million fans, I am one of them. If Stokely Hathaway has no fans, it means that I am dead.
dead.
The other day,
Huh?
that's where I'm going with this. The other day was my sibling's birthday, so I gave them like an envelope, and in it was a napkin from Canes, because they like Canes, and on it I wrote like coupon, I get you 1 free comic book, and it was really funny, and everyone laughed a lot. And I only thought of this because of Stokely's like, this is a receipt.
Sir, this is a ring stop receipt.
That was iconic. I am never gonna. We gotta see that in person. We are the
I
rare
know.
people. And it was great.
So good. But Jungle Hook won that match, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is it! This is where Jungle Boy turns. He's been carrying around that chair. You know, 8D chess is being played right now. He's gonna turn, and he's gonna be all evil with on Hook and all these things." And then he didn't, because that wasn't going to happen.
I think it would have been really weird because at the end he like hugged and shook his hand, and I was like, why would he turn on a man who he just won a match with and then also like was like, oh, we did well together, like, which has like happened, but like I'm thinking of when like Kenny turned on AJ Styles, and that's a whole different like can of worms.
A different ball game.
That was like that actually had story. It was forced by circumstance, but they brought story into it, so I'm like, sure, Jack can turn on like Hook and turn evil and whatever, but like I'd like it to like slightly make sense rather than just he has a chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
The moment they won, I knew it wasn't happening, but a small part of me was watching JB closely. I was watching very closely as well, and I was like, oh, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? And then he didn't. And I was like, you know, actually, it makes sense that he didn't, because I just don't think Jungle Boy would make a good heel. That's not anything on, like, Jack Perry or anything. I just don't see that character being a bad person. Like, I can get if he's doing it like out of remorse or something, or like anger for having literally nothing in his life anymore. No friends, no nothing. Except, oh wow, he does have friends because he's fucking friends with Hook.
Jungle Boy is a teenage heartthrob wrestler for the girls and the gays. I don't think he'd make a good heel.
Nah. And he literally, and then in a backstage thing, he was like, it's like the summer of Jungle Hook or whatever. So I think he's on the train of let's go. I don't know what else I want to say.
Maybe we'll be spared and Jungle Hook will win the tag titles from FTR.
Let's go.
I will become the biggest Hook fan in the world if that happens. Move over.
Well,
I'm a hooker now.
Hook has never lost a match, so
That's
in
true.
AEW, so he'd have better chances, I guess.
Yeah, Jungle Boy might be a good heel once he grows up and becomes Jungle Man. Oh man,
He's the Jungle Man.
That would be funny.
It's Jungle Man. Touted to the ring by Jungle Law. DUI, we've got you. That's a
I'm not
joke
gonna
for
say the one
only
that
people.
I always think of because I think it's a horrible billboard that they have, but it is the one that I always think of. Just because I'm like, why? Who wrote that?
Who did that? JB
But yeah.
Sorry, I was reading someone in chat.
Oh,
JB is the purest babyface of the pillars, and I'll stand by that. Honestly, word. They keep trying
Absolutely.
They keep trying to convince us that like Darby Allin is like a big face and everyone loves him, and then like the other two like are evil and mean or whatever, and it's like
So Sam is so always desperately trying to be a face again.
he's a face because he worked at Whataburger once.
I feel
That's
like
what
every
makes him
time
good.
you say a different restaurant, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I'm getting gaslit.
Hey, I'm on the same page. Okay,
A
sometimes
sub out of Whataburger.
I think it was Whataburger, or did it change?
You would say Subway and like
Is it
another
Subway?
place. You
Hold
have said
on.
Subway.
Hold
I've
on.
literally, this is why I'm like, I feel like I'm getting gaslit because I think you've said 3 different restaurants at one time.
I'm looking it up. Sammy
I know that he
Guevara.
Subway before.
I spelled Guevara with a Q. Guevara. That's not how you spell it.
Bavara.
Let me open up this fucking Wikipedia. Born July 28th, 1993.
I feel like you're doxing him, though this is information that's publicly available.
He is 5'10".
He is taller than me, but I am very short, so.
He's 195 pounds. Let me see this early life. Born in Houston, Texas. Okay. Okay, let me try personal life. Okay, well, this is all... Okay.
Googling
He
Sammy
has his...
Guevara.
That's wild! This is probably one of the first times I've seen this on a Wikipedia page for a wrestler. He has his own subsection of his Wikipedia for controversies. I have never seen that before. Damn!
Yeah, that's about right for Sammy Guevara.
Wow, that's so fucked up. His Wikipedia doesn't say where he used to work as a child. I swear to God, maybe it's Subway, maybe it was Whataburger, maybe it was all the places. Oh, this status right here, let me see. Oh, don't look at that. I was not watching in review. I was not watching Kinda Funny. You can't prove that. I was working at Subway after my shift, and I went home and watched Brian win the world title. There you go. Thank you, August.
I was right, because
it was Subway.
And you were correct, because I learned this from you. I just think it's funny that you didn't remember that you said Subway.
This is now going to be a running joke, where every week I bring up Sammy Guevara, and he's going to be from working at a new restaurant. Next week, he actually worked at Olive Garden for about 7 years of his life. His favorite food on the menu? The pasta primavera.
Sammy Guevara worked at Starbucks.
Starbies.
Oh my god, did he work at the same Starbucks as Tony Schiavone?
Yes.
Yay!
Which are both.
They hated each other.
Although I did Google Sammy Guevara Whataburger, and the first thing that comes up is a Reddit thread that says, "Did you know that Sammy Guevara used to work at Whataburger when he was in high school?" But I can't find anything like more proof than that.
maybe he's worked everywhere, you know. Did you know that at one point Sammy Guevara worked at UPS? He was a UPS truck driver. I'm gonna start making up lore for him, and that's what's gonna make him a good wrestler in my brain, is lying.
When Sammy was young in high school, he worked at CERN particle collisions in Switzerland, just like a low key minimum job.
Wow, really?
Damn.
That's crazy.
I wonder if him and like Claudio, talked.
Actually,
talk
fun
about
fact.
Starbucks.
That's actually a really fun fact. His Wikipedia page that says that he was trained by Booker T is wrong. He was actually trained by Claudio Castagnoli in the Swiss Alps. That's actually wrong. He worked with Mr. Claude.
Switzerland, he had a part-time job as a chocolatier.
As a chocolatier, he worked for Lindt Swiss chocolatiers. He made the batch of the chocolate that made them like really famous.
Yeah, he is actually the guy in the Lindt commercials that like overfills little chocolate truffle things.
And he has like the big fancy fuck off whisk, and he's like, "Oh, look at this delicate creation." That's actually him.
Yeah, that is Sammy Guevara.
Okay.
You know
so much.
that chocolate guy that goes viral on social media every
Yes.
once in a while? It's like sculptures out of chocolate and stuff. That is actually Sammy Guevara.
That's actually also him.
Sammy Guevara isn't the chocolatier; he's the sculpture.
Oh, word.
Guevara
Okay.
is made.
Okay, someone tell me if this is too harsh, but for the Texas Tornado tag match, I gave it a 5 out of 10 because I felt nothing.
Yeah, that's the problem with Hook, is that he's there, and it's not bad. It's just
No,
he's there.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It went exactly as I expected it to go. It was completely average.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess for me personally, like, I feel like the Hook meme train has kind of passed for me, where it was like, lol, retweet if you're a real hooker, dude, show Hook gang, let's go, it's Taz's son named Tyler. I'm like, he's still pretty cool. I guess, like, my problem is, this is my problem. I haven't done enough extended research. I should go back and watch every single episode of Rampage, and then I would be the biggest Hook fan ever. That's my problem. I don't watch his flagship show.
I don't know.
Are you gonna say I should watch every episode of Hookers in Miami?
Is that a TV show?
I may have made it up.
Did you know that the director for the TV show Hookers in Miami was actually Sammy Guevara?
He also played the lead character. He is the hooker of Miami.
Yeah, and they had him dancing in the background like a GTA stripper. Fun fact, did you know he invented Grand Theft Auto? he actually works for Rockstar Games.
He played the hooker, he played the pimp, he played Miami.
Miami.
He's
Damn.
the mayor of Miami, Florida. He's the second ever wrestler turned mayor.
That's good. That's good.
Ignore that first one. It's only Sammy Guevara. You know it's bad if Sammy Guevara is like the preferable one.
That's so true.
The Texas Tornado match was shorter than I expected. I was like, what? 10? 12 minutes?
know.
What's Cage
see.
match say?
I'll get up the cage match.
Because it felt kind of short. But to be fair, I have an amazing problem.
8:56. It was longer than the BCC Chaos, but only by like 40 seconds.
Yeah, Maple did say that twice.
Okay, sorry. Your audio is a little like softer, so I can't like hear you guys as much.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But also, that's deeply annoying to me. Even more so... Dude, I know, we're talking about this again. The fucking MJF promo was longer than the Texas Tornado Death Match.
And the BCC one combined.
Holy shit! In this 2 hour
combined.
show, there were only 2 matches that were 10 minutes or longer.
How long was the women's match?
8:25.
So the
I feel like
women's
they're
match
fucking
was
with
longer
me.
than the BCC match. That's a win for women.
Woo! Let's go, women! Give it up! We owe all our lives to women.
Women.
The real draw. Yeah, fuck John Moxley. Fuck Kenny Omega. Fuck the fucking Elite. The biggest draw in your company, Chris Statlander, bro.
May I ask, is this a command? Like, should I go?
Yes! That's my job,
tight.
actually, as, the little person who sits at the front desk of, the Regal Mansion. Because I'm, the little asexual mascot of, BCC. I actually take calls, and I write out schedules, and I'm like, alright, the X person is going to visit fucking Bryan Danielson at 2:30.
Insane.
Absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
Previously, their secretary
Was Sammy
Sammy
Guevara?
Guevara.
I was gonna make the same damn joke, Maple. I was like, I actually took over the position from one Samuel Guevara. Kenny asks, Charlie, what are you crocheting?
Oh, I'm making little pillows, and then I sew them all together. This is a prettier color. I think it looks ugly on camera because it's really bright. But I make them, and then they sew together for a blanket.
Word.
Nice.
So cute. You gotta really, it's cute, says chat.
Oh, thank you.
So the
I-
next thing I have down, which I didn't write down everything, but I think the next thing is the Tony Khan thing.
Yes, it was the collision announcement.
How many collision announcements have we had in a
3.
row? 3? Good lord.
Yeah, because they
Why
have
are
collision.
Yeah. Why are they doing it like that?
I think it's supposed to build anticipation, but my problem is that I was like, we all knew that it was gonna be in Chicago. We all knew Punk was coming back. The only thing that I was actually like, ooh, what are they doing for this is the main event. So I think they should have just done it all in one go. And have been like, it's in Chicago with Punk, and here's the main event. And that would have been
Yeah.
a little more like exciting.
Yeah, Chad agrees. It should have been one Dynamite segment.
You want to bring it up in multiple weeks, but they could have done it so much better. Like they could have had fucking the first announcement where they announce everything, and then the second week they could just have FTR versus Bullet Club Gold, and then add the other two next week at Collision, and that was much
A
better.
little, like, even though personally I'm not a big FTR fan, and I'm gonna be very sad because I'm gonna see. I probably won't watch the match just because I really only care about like Jay White and Samoa Joe. But
Wow,
like,
not
Jay
even
White,
rock hard Juice Robinson?
Look,
What's
Juice is
that?
kind of like
Wow.
Juice is kind of like the accessory for like Jay White. Like there's Jay
accessory.
White, and then there's like his feral dog, and I'm
Have
like,
you
I
seen-
like his feral dog, but I like Jay better.
I like to liken this to Legally Blonde, where she has that dog in her purse.
Yeah,
Jay
that's
White
true.
has Juice Robinson in a purse and like carries him around like Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
He was literally like leaping at them, like he was
Yeah.
very wild.
I really hope FTR and Punk lose this match. I think it would be so funny if they hyped it up and like spread out the announcement over multiple weeks and everything, and then they show up, Punk makes his big return, and then they just get fucking crushed.
They
I
absolutely
think it
get
would be
wiped.
funny, because that's what was like kind of. I don't want to like fully get, but more like when the Elite was coming back and everyone was like, oh, they're gonna win back the belts at like Full Gear, and then they came out and lost. Do it again.
Do it again. That shit's hilarious. Do it
It
again.
was, I loved it. I was like, as someone who was like, I want to see the Elite lose because I love drama and I like seeing them sad, and they lost and were sad, and I got everything I wanted.
And I know in my heart of hearts, like, I know realistically, like, Punk is probably gonna win and he's gonna pin, like, Juice Robinson or something. And it's like, okay, yay, wow. Cash Cow is back. Congratulations. Summer of Punk 3.0. Except this time he doesn't break his foot. Please don't break your foot. That would be so sad. And maybe
For
just the
third
tiniest
time,
bit
he
funny.
breaks his foot.
It would be so funny
It'd be
Has
so
he
funny.
broken the same foot, or has it always been a different foot?
to me when he suffers.
It's funny. I think it's the same foot
Clap.
every time.
What is it? Clap if you want him to suffer.
Oh, by the way, since it's been so long since we've had a recap, they're going to have a new show on TNT called Collision every Saturday.
Or
And
recap.
which that one will be called Tree Cap. No, that's not true. I don't
C-cap.
C Cap.
Recap.
Seaman. C
Yeah.
CM Punk. Whoa! I connected the dots. Kneecap.
And what is Bryan Danielson famous for saying?
Tree
Apples are
semen?
tree semen. I can fake my own death. Punk's
I'm
misery is
genuinely-
funny. FTR's is funnier. That's true. It
I
makes
just,
me giggle.
FTR are so boring, and that makes me upset. That's my
It's so
my
fascinating.
review. His Wikipedia page is so damn long. I just want to find out if he broke the same foot.
I think it's the same foot. I think it was his left foot. I think. I don't know.
All I care about.
But like, what's so fascinating about this new show, and
What?
like, if I'm looking at it from an objective standpoint, yay, more wrestling. I get to see Miro again. I get to see Thunder Rosa. Finally,
Yay,
I hope that
Thunder.
she beats up every woman in the locker room whoever did her wrong.
Yeah.
Like, this will objectively be a good thing. It's just like, at the same time, I'm like, this is also objectively funny that it's like, instead of solving problems, we're going to make a new show and put the problem there. Like that scene from
That's what I was
SpongeBob where they're
thinking.
like, we're going to push this rock somewhere else. I, for one, am gonna tune in for the first episode because I want to know curiosity. I have to know.
That's fair. I will just be busy with family stuff, so it's like I just literally can't watch it. But we'll see. I'm excited. I am excited. I do love match announcements, so I'm excited to see what else gets announced because I hope that it's like, I know maybe they were teasing Scorpio Sky. I don't remember, but that would be great. So
Also, I think at some point we should, as a group, watch the movie that CM Punk directed.
yes,
The
we need
really
to watch
shitty
that.
one?
The Girl
Yes!
from the Third Floor or whatever it is. I personally want to watch. I love watching bad movies. Though I think August, you were maybe the only one to really enjoy Monster Brawl or whatever it was. It was fun to watch it as a group.
Monster
for
Brawl
me.
was an experience,
It was
I
for
will
you,
say.
but it was a good time.
I've been wanting to see that CM Punk movie for a while because I heard that like it's like a bad horror movie, which like
I love trash.
horror movies are so good at being bad, and I'm like, yes, let's get
I
it.
just there's like 2 scenes in that movie where he gets jizzed on.
What?
By
Okay.
like who is doing the? Is it like the monster?
There's a scene that I've seen a clip of where he like gets in the shower and turns on the shower and then it just spits out like weird like white goo onto his face.
Questions are being.
Oh my god, that
You
sounds
need
amazing.
to watch this movie.
He wrote that for himself.
He wrote it. What?
There's another movie I've been really wanting to watch that has a wrestler in it. So in the Fed, there's this guy named Edge, and he's in this movie called Money Plane. And I have watched a review of this movie before, and oh my god, it looks like the shittiest thing ever. Like this, there's a quote in the movie where it's like, anything can happen on the money plane. Stealing, gambling, you could bet on a dude fucking an alligator. That's a real line in the movie. And I'm like, I need to see this movie.
Look, the 4 wrestling movies that I need to see are now the CM Punk movie, whatever the hell that is. The John Moxley, or should I say Dean Ambrose, 3rd rounds down, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
And then I also need to see My Dad is a Heel Wrestler starring Hiroshi Tanahashi so very badly. And I have a link to it. I have a promise legal link to it, and I just need to sit down and watch it.
We should do a special edition of Recap where we review a wrestling movie.
If we get together for like Forbidden Door, we should watch one of those movies first.
I'm with it. We should make Will watch the CM Punk
Poor
movie where he
Will.
gets cummed on by the shower head, but not tell him anything about it.
just be like, Will, we're gonna watch a perfectly normal movie, I promise.
And they're gonna
So
be like,
normal.
that sounds not like something you guys would do with me. And it's like, I hope you enjoy this hour and a half special feature. Cinema. It's an art house film.
It's not a movie, it's a film.
I'm gonna rate it 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Okay. Unless anyone else has another movie suggestion, the next segment is Konosuke Takeshita.
Yay! Oh, the fact that he comes out to no music now, but just the boos of the crowd is like so great and amazing, and he's never done anything wrong, and I love him so much.
Yeah, he literally has never done anything wrong. Don Callis, on the other hand, needs to be like,
Drug into the street, yelled at.
Yes, he needs to be yelled at. I did write down for whoever cares, the man who Takeshita beat. His name is Damien Ace.
Damien Ace. Okay.
Hey, props
Gosh,
to Damien Ace.
On the show.
Yeah, bootleg Sean Spears.
Oh, the guy.
That's funny because I saw a tweet from Sean Spears earlier today where he's like, "Lol, y'all thought I was gonna join the Bang Bang Gang. I'm literally sitting at home eating pizza."
Oh my god. All I have to say on the match is I have multiple things to say. One, the fact that his entrance is now just Don Callis turning on Kenny and Takeshita turning on Kenny, and I don't know if it was an error, technical issue, but it just played on loop for like the entire time, and I thought that was hysterical. Two, he won with a running knee strike, which is obviously Kenny. And then three, just the boos of the audience was like, mwah, chef's kiss.
They should make Don Callis world champion because that's a real heel right there. MJF could never.
How long was the match? Do either of y'all have like cage match still up?
1 minute and 29 seconds.
Yeah, see, I feel like I looked away for like 2 seconds and then the match was over.
Yeah, I mean, it was gonna be like a jobber thing.
Dude, they're giving Takeshita like the Wardlow treatment where they're like, you just go out there, beat a jobber in like 2 minutes and then be done. And it's like,
I want him. I do hope that he gets like matches and stuff. I feel like this is eventually going to build to Takeshita having a match against Kenny, which I'm excited for. I want to rewatch some of the matches that they had at DDT because I've only seen 2 that Takeshita's been in with Kenny, which are both good. But yeah, I also know that there's a match with Konosuke against Kota Ibushi where Big Ibushi just like ruthlessly like kind of lays in for him, and I like that a lot, so I'll watch that.
Let's see. After that, it was Christian and Luchasaurus killing Brock Anderson.
that was so funny to me. They literally like cornered this grown man in a room, and they were like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna cover him in strawberry jam, and then we're gonna leave him on the floor.
Also, it was so funny how like Christian opened the door and there were just like thumping sounds in the background, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. There's nothing going on.
I
gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
I love Christian Cage so much. All he does is just show up in a turtleneck or an equivalent looking clothing, says evil things, and then leaves. Also, always says, dads are terrible. Literally, if you don't have a father, I'm after you. If you have a father, I'm after you. Doesn't matter.
One of my favorite tweets of all time is from our lovely August, where I think you tweeted something along the lines of, I have a dead dad. How do I get in contact with Christian Cage? And I was like, oh my god.
I think specifically it was, my father is dead. Do you think I could get Christian Cage to fuck me?
Yeah, that was
it! Yes. Twitter.
I'm being sorry. You'll have to excuse me. I'm being villainous on Twitter right now.
I love that.
Hi. Hi, Rachel. You're live. Don't look
I
at
have
that.
literally
That was nobody.
No, I have no notes other than more Christian Cage.
More Christian Cage. Make Christian
love it.
Cage the fucking
TNT.
TNT champion. Do it. Or
Yeah,
make Luchasaurus it. I don't care. One of them.
Evil
Do it.
dinosaur.
He's so like comically evil. It's great.
He's like
It's
a
why-
cartoon villain.
It's why I personally really enjoy Down Callous, because I'm like, he's so like from a cartoon. He like literally like does like this and strokes little cats and all that other stuff. They're just so fake. I love it.
Yeah, I'm really bored of Wardlow because he hasn't done anything interesting in like forever. But if this feud becomes Christian Cage versus Arn Anderson, that'd be so much better.
When Wardlow was like on his hot streak and like leading up to Double or Nothing last year and all that, I was like very into him. And I keep waiting for him to do something interesting again, and it keeps not happening.
For me, ever since he got his haircut, immediately I have just dropped a lot of interest in him.
My man
So
lost
he
all
really
his
needs to
powers when he
grow.
cut that hair
Yeah.
off.
He really
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to grow his hair back.
Luchasaurus ate Brock Anderson. Just fucking ate
Just
him.
like Arn Anderson ate Christian Cage's like little
Finger? Yeah, he nibbled on him.
Or the crocodile in Peter Pan, and Arn Anderson can just like feel his thumb.
That's horrifying. I love that.
I love how horrific that is.
Just goodness.
All right, next up,
Women.
AEW Championship, women.
When?
Chris
Best
Statlander
part of the
versus Anna Jay
show.
with Matt Menard for the AEW TBS title.
That warmed my heart. I was like, "Oh my god, Matt is escorting his new adopted daughter down to the ring to be like, everyone, look, we have a second. Me and my husband, Jeff Parker, because we are Matt and Jeff Parker, married husband with an adopted son of one named Daniel Garcia Parker, and this is our new daughter that we adopted, Anna J. Parker. Look at our little family."
I imagine Anna as like the cool lesbian aunt.
You
No,
know,
she's not a lesbian.
She's sadly straight, but also we can lie.
She is dating Jungle Boy though. Like, she's got to be doing something right if she bagged him.
the fact that they bagged each other is insane. So they need to tell us the secrets. I love 2.0 as Anna's hype man. Me too. I just love 2.0 in general. I wish they wrestled more.
They're so good. Yeah. I think this was probably like my favorite match of the night.
It was really good.
It was
I loved
good.
this.
I was happy.
And Taya's watching from the background, which means that Taya is probably gonna have a match with Chris, which
Mhm.
I'm really excited for.
Also,
So like
looks good.
She looked very
she
pretty
looked
tonight.
very, very, very good.
And
Also I love Chris's robe.
oh,
Great
Mhm.
great
Mhm.
choice there.
and then
Did you know
like,
the word?
huh?
Did you know the word queen? Like etymologically, you have to be a woman to be a queen. So that's why the Queen Slayer didn't work, because she's more
Because
than
she's
a
more than a woman. Yeah.
That's good.
while doing the Queen Slayer, and it was so cool.
Yes, that
She-
was great. I loved that. When she like picked her up,
Mm-hmm.
she is strong. Strong
I
lady.
I love that they've really leaned into the fact that like Chris is like a real powerhouse. Like she's super super strong and can just like absolutely knock the fuck out of anybody. So they're just like, we're gonna make that your whole thing, and like it worked. It's working. She's like, I'm more. Oh god, how does it? I don't know how to do the sign language, which that's another amazing thing. I love that she does that. I think after her match, she said something like mama's home or something, like more than a woman.
I know
something
that's
like
what
that.
she said when she first came back.
Oh yeah.
Like
Okay.
when she was on the ramp looking down at like Jade, she said she signed Mama's home and then like went down to the ring.
Oh word. Okay. I love that.
When she did sign something at the camera and say it while she signed it, but I can't remember what it was.
I think it might
I
have
think
been
it was-
like TBS. I feel like
I think the last thing.
I think she spelt TBS. However you do that.
Ah,
I
Oh,
literally
I
have a
love-
sign language book behind me. I could fucking look it up if I wanted to.
I love Matt Menard going, "What you gonna do about it?"
You got the show with you.
I was waiting the entire time for him to be beaten up, and I don't think he got beaten up.
No,
Yeah.
he got on the apron, and I think Chris like shoved him or something.
Non-satisfactory, but that's okay.
You know, I
Yeah.
wish they would do a bit on like BTE or something because Chris can like speaks in sign language and stuff, and like a long time ago, like at the beginning of AEW, Jungle Boy used to speak in sign language. So I like to think that they're friends, and sometimes they will speak sign language to each other backstage. And it's like the two of them, like in this really cute bit where like they're trying to teach like best friends how to do sign language, but all three of them have the collective brain cell of like a goat. So they just are like, I don't know how to do this. Or it's like Greg being like, "Can you teach me how to spell dick with my hands?" I don't know. I think it's cute.
It would be.
Hello, cat.
Okay. So if no one else has anything for Chris and Anna,
Not that I can think of.
they announced the Rampage matches. Oh,
It was
but
really
they announced.
to say. It was really good. I just don't have a lot to say.
Oh, okay. Which is true. It was very good. I am so pumped for Chris's reign. I think it's going to be so fun.
I love that she's doing an open challenge. It's perfect.
Yes, I'm really like. I don't think she hasn't announced a match for next week. It might be announced on mine. Well, to be honest, there's already a women's match announced, so they just can't have two on one card. I mean,
That's true.
Mhm.
Only two women can exist at any time. All the other ones fade into existence, like just disappear.
That is completely not true. Sometimes they have 4 women, right? Because it's a tag match, and 5 because Surveyor's there.
who wasn't on this week, but we'll
This
get to
episode
that.
of Dynamite was the best Dynamite we've ever had because Soraya wasn't there.
Yeah,
But next-
on I think Rampage, like there was a promo with Tony and Ruby, and Soraya just like wasn't there, and it was a great promo because they're both really good wrestlers and really good promos, and they work well as heels, and they don't need like some other bitch here to help them.
Yes, which is what is like now because basically they announced the Rampage matches, which is like Big Bill, Ethan Page, and Lee Moriarty versus Lucha Bros and Bandito. That's what I pulled from Cage Match.
Yay,
So they're
Bandito.
writing down, but that's gonna be fun. I personally think it'll be great. I like Lee and Big Bill a lot. They've really grown on me. I don't know why. I just
Same,
really like
actually. Like, I love Lee Moriarty's theme, and like Lee Moriarty is just a good wrestler. But like, the biggest turnaround of the decade, honestly, Wrestler of the Year 2023, Big Bill. Not even kidding. This guy, I don't know what he did, but amazing. I love big ass.
He's great. Powerhouse Hobbs is in action. Good to see him again.
Yay, Hobbs is back.
Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed versus the Spanish announce project.
Oh, yay! I hope that when Max Caster comes down and does his little rap against Spanish announce project, holy fuck, I don't know what their name is. SAP.
Sap. They have a song.
I really hope he makes a reference to the fact that Angelico used to have a tag partner that is now gone. I want them to reference the dead corpse of Jack Evans. Just so that I'm not crazy and that he was real at one point and not a figment of my imagination for 4 years.
I have literally never heard of the Spanish Announce Project.
So
at least
they're a
that
dark and elevation thing. So basically, they're comprised of Serpentico, the best wrestler in the world, of course. Luther, who has always worked with like Serp, they've been the Chaos Project, and then Angelico, who used to have a tag partner, Jack Evans, and they were like H2,
TH2, the True Hybrids.
True Hybrids. But like they formed a trio like a few months ago for like no apparent reason, and their name is because they do, I think, Spanish commentary sometimes for Dark and Elevation.
I know, I think Serpentico used to, and I know that Angelico can speak Spanish, so like it would make sense.
So
kind of.
That's sort of the lore. They have a song, like they literally had a song like the second week that they announced it, and I was like, there have been other groups who have been together for much longer and have never gotten a song. I think
What are
this
you gonna
is
do
kinda
when
funny.
Spanish Announce Project wins the trios titles from House of Black?
Frankly, celebrate Love Serp. So
Honestly, let's go, Serpentico! Greatest wrestler on the planet.
His Twitter game is great.
Amazing.
Nyla and him need to have a match at one point because they are so funny.
That's actually the main event of the second episode of Collision. Spoiler alert.
But speaking of Nyla, there's the contenders match for the AEW World Women's World Title, which is Mercedes Martinez, who I really like, Nyla Rose, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Sky Blue.
That'll be a really good match. I think because if we're going off of the history and the way AEW loves to book things, oh my goodness, someone just won a title. We got to get Nyla Rose in here. Plus, I think like either that match or the match that would be the title match is going to be in Washington D.C. where she's from.
Yeah, next
so,
week.
Like,
it's in Washington, so it makes sense because Nyla is from there.
Yeah, which I would be happy with. I fucking love her. She's awesome.
I was telling August that they need to have Riho in this match and then have her win the world championship in the town that she did it in. That small town, whatever it was.
Of Washington, D.C.
Irrelevant.
Unimportant.
But yes, Riho for literally every title right now.
Let's have Riho, the ratings master and killer of NXT on Wednesdays, the GOAT, Riho. Let's make her the world champion. Let's make her the tag champions. Let's make her the TNT title holder.
She'd be better than so many of the other ones.
She's the one person who can beat Orange Cassidy. Make her the All-Atlantic holder.
Yeah, and we already have like some foreign titles too, so she could be the IWGP American title.
US
because yeah, she could be Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega.
Yeah. She's gonna run in at the end.
Kenny. I forget who got pinned in that match that they had. But either way, she has technically beat Kenny.
That's true. Who is the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion? Isn't it Sonata?
Yeah, it's still Sonata.
She could beat Sonata.
Oh, sure.
Let's have her do that.
Also,
the never open weight is held by Kenta, I think. And then I forget. Oh, and then Tai Chi holds one of the other belts, but I forget the title name. It's the KOPW book title. They have a lot
if it's
more
the
belts.
I'm thinking of when, like, right before they tagged, then no one got pinned. Kenny and Kota jumped over the rope when the Riho like pulled it down.
So it was like an elimination style. I'm always so confused by the rules of that match.
Yeah, it was like a gauntlet, right? Because they kept having people and feed them soda.
I don't speak Japanese, and it's a really old match, so like finding rules for it and translations are very tricky. I just watch it because it's a good time.
It's a really good match.
It's a really good match. Oh yeah, next was Tony and Ruby being like, ha ha ha, y'all are gonna lose, ha ha ha. But without Saraya, so I did like it.
So it was entertaining and I loved it. Also, to go back to the match announcements from like a second ago, I didn't say this before. I think it is hilarious that last week TK gave us one of the most banging Rampage cards of all time. And then, like, the show didn't do a good rating, and he was like, fuck y'all, I'm going back to mid cards. I'm like, you didn't appreciate my genius. You can have this stuff. And I'm like, how dare you say that? How dare you imply that Spanish Announce Project and the greatest wrestler ever, Serpentico, is not main event material? They should put him in Blackpool Combat Club.
Serpentico?
Yeah.
He does know how to get beat up, I guess, if that's a qualification.
He can be like their what, like their young boy? He brings the water.
Hey. John Moxley has won over 100 matches in AEW, and you know who's lost over 100 matches in AEW? Serpentico.
Yeah, there you go.
So they're twins.
As a wrestler alive, Serpentico.
One half of you can win 100 matches. One half of you can lose 100 matches.
It's the balance, as all things should be. What's the current standings on like the most losses? Because I know Serpentico I think has the most losses.
Oh yeah, he's got no one else. I think is really like
Because
him.
like for a long time, especially back in like 2020, 2021 era, I don't know if they still have this guy around, but he was like an enhancement talent. His name was like Baron Black. I know he had a lot of losses. Obviously, there
think
was the
he's
whole
on the
thing with
roster
Brandon
anymore.
Cutler.
Yeah, but he like there's people who have a lot of there's wrestlers who have a lot of losses, but to get to the number that Serp has, like you have to be like
You have to be a professional.
you have to be a professional jobber. And that's
In 2023, Serpentico has 18 losses and 0 wins.
let's go, Serpentico!
Dude, let's go. He's the man.
He is the man.
Who comes after Serpentico in there? Who has the next amount? I love
For
stats.
2023,
Like you, yeah.
I do love stats. I don't know if I have.
2023.
Oh,
It's actually best friends.
I looked it up. They have a record of like Chuck has a record of 8-8 this year, and then Trent I think is 9-9. They're
Hey, that's 50-50, baby.
Ethan Page and Ari Davari both have 14 losses from 2023, and the Butcher has 15 losses.
What?
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
not
crazy.
Andy. How dare they do the Butch like that? That's awful.
Hey,
And then
during
has
Pride
four-
Month,
Yeah, during Pride Month.
hating on the Butch.
Yeah, in my mind, since I've only seen recent stuff, the Butcher and the Blade are like they team up with someone who needs friends but is going to lose.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's accurate.
Kip Sabian.
Oh, Kipper. Kip, I love you.
Yeah,
you
from
got
at
someone out
least
there.
the last time that I did like logging of like losses, damn, work with me.
So this is purely based on Cage Match, just purely based on the number of matches that like people have had this year. Orange Cassidy has had the most matches with 30 matches and 28 wins.
Oh.
Then next up is Sky Blue with 25 matches and 13 wins.
Good job, Sky.
And then Max Caster with 24 matches and 21 wins.
Dude, Max Caster, the workhorse!
Yeah, and like I think Max Caster is like the second most wins after Orange Cassidy.
Honestly, we
Just
should get Max Caster versus Orange Cassidy for the all Atlantic title.
That would actually be funny.
That
as
would be
hell. I feel
really
like
good, really fun.
from my old standings, basically for overall AEW, like all of AEW, the people with the most losses are Serpentico, Aaron Solo, Peter Avalon, Fuego del Sol, Isaiah Cassidy, Sky Blue, and Emi Sakura.
Emmy?
But she's at like 45. I mean, it's like, it's tricky. So I think she might be a little more balanced, but like, due to just
that does
how
not
things.
seem to count win-loss ratio.
Yeah, this is just like who has the most losses.
I'm gonna be real. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. I forgot about Peter Avalon.
Yeah, he's only done. See, this is the problem with removing Dark and Elevation is that you forget.
And it
You
sucks too,
forget
because I
the
love Peter
wingman.
Avalon. I love his
funny.
theme song. I think he's great. It's like he's disappeared into a void.
Yeah, the void called not having Dark and Elevation.
Inside you, there are two cyclones. There is the Chris Jericho cyclone, and there is the No More Dark and Elevation cyclone. You are trapped at the bottom of one of them perpetually.
But they announced some of the matches that would be happening on Dynamite. So there'll be Tony Storm versus whoever wins the contender match. Darby Allin, Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, and Sting versus the Mogul Embassy, as we previously discussed.
The strangest match ever.
Adam Cole versus MJF in a AEW World Title Eliminator match.
So it's not even a world title match.
No, but I think Adam's gonna win, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna have my match next week. No, I'm gonna like hold it off or something," and they're gonna like elongate the feud, maybe, or maybe he'll lose, and I'm just like talking shit.
I really hope he does.
So those are the 4 matches that they've so far announced for Dynamite. Traditionally, they have 5, so they'll probably maybe get another one on there.
It'll probably be
And
Takeshita again, just in
Maybe.
action.
Yeah. And then next up, we have Ricky Starks versus Jay White.
Yeah, we're at the main event after an hour and 55 minutes. I think it was a fun main event. I think that it's the most they had the chance of doing something incredibly funny, and they chose to go with it by putting the guns in the Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah, so
It's
they haven't
perfect.
officially announced that. They haven't
But
officially
it's
said it.
funny.
But I would say yes, because I feel like some people think of like Bullet Club as like a real thing, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. They're a joke.
Yeah.
Like in New Japan, they are being I don't even want to say. They have so many people that they recently brought in, and they're all like, sure, I guess they're there in Bullet Club. So like, I don't understand why people are like, they wouldn't do Sean Spears. I'm like, no, they would.
I absolutely
Sean
would.
said he's not, but they asked that this is very new. This is very Bullet Club core for me.
Yeah, like the Young Bucks were in the Bullet Club.
Yes, they were. I mean, Cody that like Carl Anderson is one of the like
Founding
founding
members.
people of Bullet Club. Like, let's not forget.
Let's not put our standards that high.
They've been good at times, but they've always been a mess. They've always been a hot mess, like pure mess. At least that's my read on them. 10 years. They've been around for 10 years now.
Good lord.
There's only one person who was an original member who's still in Bullet Club, and that's Bad Luck Fale, and I don't remember the last time that I saw him in a New Japan ring. So it's wacky.
You know who would fix Bullet Club? Sasha.
Sasha is the new leader of
Sasha.
Bullet Club.
Yes,
I support this.
I do.
Do you think Sasha would be an evil little heel? A little villain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devious.
She'd always be wanting more snack.
Her thing, how she gets inducted into Bullet Club is they find her sneaking around backstage eating other people's food. And they're like, yeah, we could use someone like you on our team.
He's one of your talents.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought. Okay.
I don't know. I was just gonna.
I thought this match was really entertaining, if not great, because I found it really funny that Vicky Starks kept trying to find a ladder that wasn't there, and then eventually commentary was like, yeah, and he finds a ladder, and he just didn't have a ladder.
I didn't notice that. That's funny.
That is incredibly funny, actually.
I didn't even know what he was looking for.
I didn't know what he was looking
Terrible.
for until Excalibur, like, he was on the other side of the ring from Excalibur, and he started, like, messing with the, like, stairs. So Excalibur presumably just saw him, like, messing with something over there, and he was like, oh gosh, he finally found the ladder.
Excalibur was like, oops.
We all have our off
Lost
days.
I thought it was funny just because I like seeing Jay White be pathetic, and I like seeing him like run away from the match. And I was amused.
Everyone's favorite pathetic little meow meow.
He is my pathetic.
So
little
I'm
man.
Jay White, I'm the knife pervert. I'll beat Kenny Omega. I sold out the United Center. I'm the catalyst
I'm the leader of the
of pro
club.
wrestling.
The
I
bang
will say-
bang
The
gang.
Bang Bang Gang. Ow.
Bang bang.
That hurts like my wrists.
I'm trying to think if I have any thoughts. I don't know. I feel like this Ricky feud could have been a lot better, and I'm just still like a little off by it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Ricky Starks did to Jay White. Like, I feel like this feud started because like Jay and Juice got there and they like made their group and all, and then they were just like, hey, Ricky Starks, fuck you. And Ricky was just like, okay, I guess we're feuding now.
Like, it's
'cause
literally
it's
that meme of that guy who's like, what do you say fuck me for? Like, literally, like, what did I do to you? And they're like, well, it's because we hate you. And it's like, because, like, he had that match. Like, Juice suddenly decided to hate Ricky. And he has that match with Juice. And then Jay White comes out. And Jay White is like, I also hate you. I'm hanging out with my boy. Bang, bang, gang. And then it's just like, I get, okay, fine. I guess we're gonna hate each other for a while. And then Ricky wins that one match. Jay wins this one. Gun interference. Bang, bang. So that's a bang, bang, gang, remember? Bang, gang. It's just, I have no, I hope this is not like an actual thing in real life. I'm just making shit up.
They do this, and then they like bump hands.
Ow. That hurts.
They're not doing the too sweet because that's David Finlay. Yeah. So
they're like, we don't do the boys kissing. We do the boys
God.
banging. That's our thing.
I was a little disappointed to see the guns come out because I was just some part of me was hoping that this was the end of the feud, that they just end it on. And I'm so prepared to like the Bullet Club, but this feud is just not doing it for me. But I want to like them, so I want them in something else.
Yes,
Yeah,
I want
just, like,
Jay
something interesting.
because Jay's really good. Like last week when he was on the mic with and they were like hiding behind Tony.
They were like
Schiavone,
messing
it was
with Tony.
So funny. It was hilarious. I loved it. And I'm like, he's so funny. He's so good on mic. And that last week made me like was like, this is why I like him. And I just can they just bring that back, please, and put him in a feud like that actually like feels good.
And it sucks too because like on paper, like in an idea, Jay White and Ricky Starks in a feud could be fucking awesome.
That should be great.
It should be great. But in practice, as what we've seen, it is okay. It's like fine. I won't remember it in a few months. I won't remember that it happened. And honestly, like you said, oh, the feud's like gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going on. I don't think that it is. I think that that's the end because like I think like last night Ricky Starks tweeted like, well, looks like I'm going on vacation for a few months, and then he deleted the tweet and I was like, damn, like seriously, is that it?
I don't know.
Going out
I
with a
just don't
whimper, I
know.
guess, which is sad.
I did like Juice running down at the end and like humping
Like
the mat or
screaming,
something.
yeah, barking.
It was really wacky. Again, Juice is the rabid little dog that Jay just has for some reason.
We have a couple of... Sorry, what?
I see a bit of like kind of the problem that they are having, which is like, oh, they want them to be big on Collision. They want the Bullet Club to be big on Collision. They're putting them in the main event of the first Collision, but they need things to do on TV before Collision so that they can eventually start setting things up for Collision. Blah 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 blah. And I think to me, this is really silly and it's not working. And it gave me the idea that what they should have done with Collision for the first like couple of weeks, they should have done a tournament.
Tournaments are
Yeah,
fun.
tournaments are great.
They need to announce that for the Owen Hart one.
Yeah, like start off Collision with the Owen Hart tournament. Why not?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because then you just naturally have a way to make people like interact with each other and create feuds, and then you get to create all your feuds at once and all your teammates at once.
See, this is the problem, is that I love tournaments, and I think that they do great things, especially with like New Japan. They have a ton of tournaments, and I feel like they really help to establish just the like wants and desires and like why people are interacting and like feuds and stuff like that. And then AEW doesn't do that as much. They also don't really have like faction politics as much, and I feel like it helps a lot. And I know it's not totally a style, I think, of American wrestling, which is like fine, but I feel like it sometimes like hurts things because it's harder to establish like history between people. But like whatever, it's personal taste at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they announced the Owen Hart tournament, and I'm like, I love tournaments, and then they have literally said like only one other thing for it, and I'm like, please give me the brackets at least or something.
Because I think they're gonna start the tournament at Forbidden Door, right?
Yeah, and that's
so maybe
in
they're
2
just
weeks.
waiting until like the week before Forbidden Door to be like, Tony Khan has an announcement about Forbidden Door, and then he stares into the camera and only blinks 4 times and is like, hello, I am giving my
Your
high
eyes
school
aren't wide
English
enough.
presentation about Hamlet by Shakespeare. Here is the match tournament listings for Forbidden Door. CM
That
Punk,
can't be
thank
it,
you for
right?
watching. blank.
That can't be right. Like 5 weeks before the tournament, they need to announce it. And then for the next 4 weeks, they have to announce it on every Dynamite and Rampage.
Like one new match every week until we have a full bracket.
Like the worst edging I've ever like. It just
yeah, I'm not into it.
Very unconsensual.
Chat has a couple of thoughts that I shall read out. They're all from Daisy. So far we have Jay White kins Hamlet, and I stand by that. Jay is like the first Bullet Club leader to be kicked out of his position and then stay in the club. Then then the tag team everyone fucking hates for no reason shows up, the Guns, and the final one is AEW hates Ricky for some reason, it feels.
Yeah, they have booked him weird. I feel like they also somehow have a weird also love-hate relationship with Hobbs because they're like, we'll put the belt on him for like a month,
2 weeks.
I think. And then they were like, and then we'll take it off when Wardlow's in his hometown. And then I'm like,
what?
Cool, what was that for?
What was the point of all that?
Like if he wanted Hobbs to have the championship, he actually should have like had it instead of just like being like, ah, he'll have it for a month.
I wish sometimes that like, so when Will Hobbs first came into AEW, he was a face, and like he had a really inspiring and amazing story as to why he is a wrestler and why he does this, because his brother wanted to be a wrestler and his brother passed away, and he's like, I'm going to do this in my brother's honor. I'm going to become the thing that he wanted to be for him. And that's gorgeous. That's an amazing story. And then they had him join Team Taz. And obviously he had to be evil to be in Team Taz. But he did good in that position. Like, I loved him and Ricky and Hook hanging out together. It was great. And then, you know, Team Taz just decided to stop being Team Taz one day for some reason. And then Hobbs went off and did his own thing. And then he now is kind of with QT Marshall, but also not. And also on TV rarely, but also not. And also TNT champion, but also he's not anymore. And it's like, I feel like after Team Taz disbanded, if they would have just had like a star-making moment and they were just like, Hobbs like turns face again and continues on that story that he had when he first came in and being like, you know, I'm going to go back to my roots, and this is me remembering what I'm here for and what I'm doing this for. I'm going to like win this title, and I'm gonna bring back like Cody's original open challenge because like genuinely sometimes it feels like the only way we're getting like good matches and good stories with people who are title holders is if they have an open challenge. Orange and Chris say hi, and in previous times Cody Rhodes says hi. It's like fascinating to me, and it's like he could have easily, like Hobbs could have easily filled the role of which Wardlow fills right now. This is no diss on Wardlow. I actually really like Michael, legal name Michael, who works at a car dealership owned by Claudio Castagnoli. This is an inside joke for none of you. This is only for us. But Michael, this sounds like pizza, like the fucking pizza people. I don't, what's the name? Julius Caesars? No, Caesars Pizza. Caesars. Whatever.
Oh. Little Caesars?
Little Caesars, thank you. No, pizza. It's Michael. I feel like Michael could be good if they do the good things, but since they're not, it's like this could have easily been Hobbs, and he would have done a great job in that role. Could you imagine him and Christian Cage beefing? OMG. That's so slay. Ow, my legs.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, because I feel like they're still trying to figure out where they work best, and neither of them are just finding it. Because the last time I really remember being like, oh, Ricky is like he's doing great, he's doing good, I really like this, is when he had like that very short feud with MJF, and he like speared him out of his shoes, and he was like really good on mic. And then since then, I'm just like, I don't really remember what I've like really found him like really good in. Which is sad.
This is another example, and I'm bringing it back for like the 8th time this stream. This is another example of the fucking Chrisiverse. coming to attack a wrestler because Ricky Starks literally had a feud with MJF, and they had a great one of the times where, hey, MJF is actually really good at his job. He had a great promo battle with Ricky Starks, to which Ricky Starks in the end end up flaming him, where he was like, he's like, you smell like self tanner and ass.
Yeah.
You're ashy as shit. You don't like wash your elbows and stuff like that. And like he's just making fun of him. It was great, and they had that awesome match, which Ricky did lose, and then immediately sucked into the Chrisiverse. And all of the momentum was gone. And it sucks. And then like he started doing the thing with Juice Robinson and then Ricky Starks, and we were like, oh, it's happening. We're good. It's frustrating.
I don't know if this is happening on stream, but on Discord, your mic is cutting out, at least
Is
on
it
our
really?
side.
That sounds like something my mic would do.
Yeah, just not like a ton, but enough where it's like noticeable.
Oh, well, my apologies. Is it still doing that?
Not really.
It's better now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're also at the end of Dynamite.
We
We're
are
at
at
the
the
end
end
of
of
that.
Dynamite. We're just kind of chit-chatting now, which honestly, knowing us, we could probably sit here for another hour and just talk about random shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind, unless you guys have stuff you have to do. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what else I have to say other than like I'm literally, I don't know if you can see, this is my little calendar and it has a countdown for Forbidden Door because literally that is the thing that I'm most fucking excited for.
Forbidden Door is like already with the 2 matches now announced. It's gonna be the best thing that's ever happened ever.
It's so far really fucking good, but they're going to try to stick Hiromu Takahashi and something with like Darby Allin, and then I'm just gonna like die on the inside. And so I really just want, because I feel like I'm like, oh, they can do so much good, and then I forget that there are wrestlers who I just really hate, and then I forget that they exist, and then I remember.
And should and will just straight up kill Darby dead.
Hiromu Takahashi, in my like the personal opinion, is one of the best like junior heavyweights in like the world. Like I don't really know of others that are like, there are others that are at his level, but like Darby is not even fucking close, and it's just very like. I also saw someone do a booking on like a fan booking on Twitter, and it made me. It was Darby and El Desperado, and I was like, so I'm just gonna cry? Like, what are you doing to me? But it's fine. I just calm myself and I go, if they put El Desperado in a stupid thing, or if he's just not on at all, you will be having a tag match with John Moxley and Homicide in like a month, and that I remind myself. I calm myself.
Charles was telling me like about a different thing earlier, how like when New Japan gets foreign talent, they kind of like they actually want them there, so they actually make them win and like that type of thing. And I feel like that never happens with Forbidden Door. I feel like the New Japan people, they all lose at Forbidden Door all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. AEW, like, foreign talent can win stuff. Like, FTR held the, like, tag belts for a while, so they have won stuff.
Villainy.
So I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, at least that's my read on things. Like, I'm really excited for the G1 because I think Eddie Kingston is gonna do well. I don't think he's gonna like win it, but I think he'll do well. And I'm really excited for that. I'm pumped for Forbidden Door, but I'm like prepared that like a lot of the people that I love are gonna lose.
End up being against people you don't like, and then they'll lose.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many matches that I'm sitting here that I'm like, I would love this for Forbidden Door. Like, you were talking about it last night, and I was like, literally, I would kill for this match. I want Tetsuya Naito and Orange Cassidy. And it's just them laying face down on the ground for 20 minutes, because neither of them want to do anything. And I'm like, that would literally be the best match ever. Like, are you kidding me? And it's like, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, because also, what I love personally about Naito is that when he has like bigger matches, he will wear his full white suit, spend like 3 minutes walking slowly to the ring, maybe 5 minutes. He gets to the ring, he stands there, he looks at them, and then he just slowly strip teases, and just takes off all his clothes. Sometimes he'll even be like, oh, I can't get this off, and has the ref come over and help him. And I'm just like, Orange literally would just be like, cool, I'm gonna take a nap while you do this. And I'm like, it would be so funny. You don't understand. It would be so good.
And like, I wanted this for last year's Forbidden Door, and if I'm being honest with you, if I'm gonna be a big boy and be honest with you, I still want this because I think it would be hilarious. Mostly because I love Kenta. I want Kenta versus CM Punk for like owner of the Go to Sleep, and then Kenta just like murders him because it would be funny.
I do really love Kenta. He's so bitchy. He's hilarious in backstage comments. It's really just him rambling about like whatever the hell he wants to and like talking to like the camera people. It's fantastic. I love Kenta.
And if I
still upsetting that he turned on El Phantasmo.
And it was so rude.
But isn't El Phantasmo like a good boy now?
Yeah,
he's the best boy.
So basically, like, he was with Bullet Club, but he was getting a little uncomfortable with everything after David Finlay took over and threw out Jay, and he was starting to, like, positively interact with the fans, but David Finlay would, like, storm over, and, like, if he was, like, holding a sign to be like, oh my god, look, a sign of me, David would come over and, like, rip it out of his hands and be like, stop interacting with them. And then Shota Umino, in one of the tag matches he had against him, gave him a little bracelet, and he's been, like, wearing that, and he was basically being like sweet, and then instead of them throwing out Jay White, they threw out El Phantasmo, and it just really hurt my heart.
I hope we see El Phantasmo at Forbidden Door.
He's Canadian, so I think it'd be fun.
It would be nice to see him, and then I would also, obviously, I would love to see Shota as well.
Yes.
It would be very fun if we saw him, and we get like another Dad's Day out, like we did last year, and hopefully this time they don't lose.
Yes, because last year he teamed with Eddie Kingston and Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, and they lost to Jericho Appreciation Society. I think they lost
with Minoru Suzuki. I completely forgot about that. And
yeah,
I
forgot about that too.
Suzuki with Jazz, they are not on the same level at all. Like, Suzuki is basically like a killer, and that's not Chris.
Yeah, Chris is just like a weird little guy.
But not in a good way.
No, not in a fun way.
Who do you think? You know, because obviously the Chrisiverse is gonna have to take over Forbidden Door in some way. He's gonna have to be on the show. What New Japan wrestler do you think is gonna get stuck with him?
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm like, I have no idea what their minds are gonna do.
Yeah, nobody knows that.
It's gonna be Hiroshi Tanahashi.
That'd be funny as hell.
It's gonna be Tanahashi.
Look, the problem with Tanahashi is that he will do whatever. So
that's true.
With Chris, he would be like, "All right, let's do it." He's too open. I know some people are like, "Oh, him and Orange Cassidy would be funny."
It would.
So I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I'm pretty open to like whatever. I just also am like, can you not use these wrestlers because it will anchor me. I do not want to see Darby Allin, and they will put him on the show.
And they're gonna make this.
People want to hang out with Sting. They don't want Darby Allin. They want Sting. But somehow Sting is like, I have to bring my terrible son, and I'm just like, can you not?
Terrible son. Maple, what match do you want to see at Forbidden Door?
Gosh, if I knew any of the New Japan people, I would answer so well. Geez, I would want. Kota's not coming back at Forbidden Door, obviously, because Kenny's doing something else.
Well, yeah, and also like Kota's relationship with New Japan is still kind of like wonky. So,
yeah.
Okay, that is the list of New Japan names I know. No, that's not quite true, but that's mostly true.
No. I will say I will be talking so much about Forbidden Door, and I'm just, you can tell me to stop, but like literally New Japan is my promotion that no one else watches, so I need to talk about it.
Aren't they going to try to incorporate Stardom into this year as well?
They said that they might, which would be exciting, because that means, because last year they just had Tony Storm go against Thunder Rosa, and I think it would be really cool if they had, because I mean they now have, New Japan has 2 women on their roster now,
we're probably going to get a Willow Nightingale match then.
Which would be really cool. But like Mercedes Moné is currently injured. I don't know what her timeline is, and then I forget who else. I don't know. Some of them are also, I think, signed to both. I think it's Kari. I might be thinking of Kari, but I could
Kyrie,
be
yeah.
wrong. Kyrie. But I don't know. So I'd be excited.
Okay, if Stardom is there though, there's this really awesome Stardom wrestler named Starlight Kid who wears a mask.
It's great.
It's super cool, and I would pay for her to beat up Willow Nightingale.
That would
See,
be
the thing
good.
is that Starlight Kid Anna has tagged with El Desperado before, and they have called each other like big brother and little sister and stuff. So I think it'd be cute if they had a tag match against like a team in AEW, just because I like seeing them together. But we shall see.
Okay, I think the show's winding down, but I need to tell you, the other day, August was lying in bed, and I went up and I was like, "Hey, what's that on the ceiling?" It's Sabu.
Sabu.
Nice.
That's funny.
Does anyone have any other thoughts from this show? Maybe from, if you want to talk about Double or Nothing, since I was recently. Thoughts about next week's show. Thoughts about wrestling in general. Thoughts about Sammy Guevara having worked at Walmart once. He was a cashier.
Sammy Kavara actually used to work at Recap. He was a performer here, but we had to
That's
cut him.
true. If you go back in time and watch the very first recap, he was my co-host, and we talked about, what was the very first? Oh, I think that one was the Lights Out main event. I think that was the Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa match, the first one. I think, maybe not. I can't fucking remember. That was so long ago. Didn't he used to work at the DMV? True, actually. He used to work at the DMV.
Yeah.
Titled my car once.
Sammy Kavara has an advantage when it comes to championship matches because he used to be the person who made the belts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you know he's actually the CEO of AEW? He owns the place.
That
Yeah.
would explain a lot.
Also, the CEO's dad.
He is Tony Khan's father.
That's why Chris Jericho keeps winning all these matches he shouldn't.
That's the connection. That's the connection.
True. Yeah, God. Capo, I can choose who wins everything at Forbidden Door. They just love me.
You should become the booker. See, that's why you gotta link up to that Fight Forever game and just choose all of your winners that you want.
It's true, but they don't. They just immediately. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Either way, I'm pumped. I'm so excited. That's one of the things that I'm like, this is what's keeping me.
See, I remember
here.
when. So the first game they came out with was Elite General Manager, like the game on your phone. And I remember I was a part of like the access, like the beta access to like test it and see if there were any bugs in it. Naturally, it was a buggy as hell game. It was very buggy. But I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Like the first thing I'm going to do when I get this game is like I'm going to make the people I like champions. And then I accidentally made Penta world champion. And then since he's such a good wrestler, he wouldn't lose the belt. So I was stuck on simulation mode of Penta El Cerro Miedo holding the world title for like 3 years. And then I never played the game again.
So Penta is still the world champion.
Yeah, somewhere in my Spider-Verse, Penta is the world champion. And he has been for like 3 years.
Good for him. You know what? He is better than Roman Reigns.
I know. He could actually beat Roman Reigns for the Universal Piss Golden title.
Yeah.
That belt is so ugly, by the way.
I also saw some photos of it.
It's so horrendous.
Does anyone have anything to say about, I guess, the only promotion we haven't really mentioned, ROH?
Maki Ito was on ROH tapings yesterday,
yes,
and I'm excited to see her. Let's go! I stand with ROH. Best company ever. I'm excited for Death Before Dishonor. I think that's the next one that's coming up, right?
Yeah, it's coming out in July. I'm gonna say July.
I'm excited for it. I love ROH, says the guy who's only ever seen one episode of ROH.
And it was the one that you just be
And
there
it's the
for
one
in
that I
person.
happened to be there for. And
Yep.
we were there for like 5 hours, and it was really long. But you know what? I cried when Shibata came out. I cried a little bit.
I am excited because I think I'll finally be able to catch up sort of on ROH because New Japan doesn't have a lot of matches or shows this month. So good for me.
Yay!
All right. I think that wraps things up.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely wrapping things up. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Recap. We reviewed the episode of AEW Dynamite 6-7. Happy Pride Month. Also, today is National Best Friends Day, so
Aww.
hugs. Yay, it's Best Friends Day. Please tell your local best friend that they're a fucking loser. That's not nice. Please don't do
Will
that.
do, Chief.
07s, I'm on it! But,
This is also when AEW was in Kansas City last year.
That's
Because it
right.
was National Best Friends.
I remember that. because, and do you want to know why I remember that?
Because Trent said something about it being National Best Friends Day.
Because not only that, last time AEW was in Kansas City, it was last year on National Best Friends Day, because it happened to be on a Wednesday. And on that show, I shit you not, both Orange and Chuck were just not there. They were not there at all at the show. The only person there was Trent. He came out and he's like, I wish my friends were here on National Best Friends Day, but I'm all alone. And then fucking Will Ospreay jumps him, and he's saved by FTR during Pride Month on National Best Friends
That's
Day.
a lot.
I had to
That's
sit there and watch Trent team with FTR, a team he has known hated in the past, fight United Empire, which at the time I think it was like Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. At the time, I was not an Aussie Open fan. I am now. So if I could go back a year in time, I'd be like, yay, Aussie Open. But at the time, I was like, God, fuck.
Well, can I also give my review of United Empire, which is just this.
Please.
The valid and correct and actual good wrestlers in United Empire are as follows. Great Okan, number 1.
Yeah!
All respect to the Great Okan.
The
2,
big icon.
Aussie Open, so they take up spots 2 and 3, and maybe Francesco Akira but also I have beef with him because he's 23 and a ginger, and that's my age, and I'm also redheaded.
That's my
so
demographic.
I have to fight him. But that's it. No other.
There's no other members in United Empire. Those are the only ones.
There was a member for a while, Dan Maloney. He was there for 2 weeks and then betrayed them for Bullet Club. So
What?
yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, Bullet Club is a mess. Is that the thing?
Well,
Either way, that's my review.
right? There's one other one that's been there since the founding, or did he leave? It was Sammy Guevara.
I was gonna make the same joke! That's why I started laughing. I was like, do you want to know who actually founded Bullet Club? Sammy Guevara.
That's crazy. How could I forget?
Him and Bad Luck Fale have been there since the beginning of time.
They recently had their 10-year anniversary.
That's
Emotional.
crazy.
Yeah. They were founded in 2013.
I
Which
would like...
was I shan't talk about it.
You shan't?
I shan't. It'll just be me talking about Taguchi, and no one knows who Taguchi is.
I've heard the name Taguchi before.
You don't know him.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
If he appears at Forbidden, there are people from New Japan who I'm like, they are not gonna pop up, but like if they did, I would be thrilled.
If I'm mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know that you will. The reason I remember the name Taguchi, it's because he was a part of Apollo 55, right? Was that him?
Mhm.
I was right. He
He went
didn't
to-
team with Prince Devitt. I'm a fucking genius. Hey! What did you just say?
What did he say?
Yeah, I didn't hear the joke because Maple started laughing really loud.
He was part of Apollo 55. He went to space.
Oh, okay. That
That's
makes
good.
sense.
That's
See,
good.
I thought you were making... See, like, okay. I didn't know what kind
Hey,
of joke you were making, but halfway through you explaining it, of like Apollo 55, did he go to space? At first I was like, oh, this is gonna end up being like an Apollo 13 joke, like the one that exploded.
I thought it was
"Well,
gonna be a
that's not very
Sammy Guevara joke where it's like the third member of Apollo 55, Sammy Guevara.
nice." Yeah, did you know that Sammy Guevara was the first man to go to space? He used to be an astronaut.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
That brings us to the end of AEW Dynamite and the end of our episode of recap, brought to you by Taguchi and Apollo 55 and the person who built the rocket, Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara.
What about my non-local best friend? Then they don't count. Sorry. Are we gonna be back next week? Do you think we're gonna make this a weekly thing?
I'd like to.
All right, okay. Join us here next week, probably on Thursday, for another episode of recap where me and Charles cry about hungbucks for 2 hours straight, and then
Let's go
click
hungbucks.
end live. Let's go hungbucks! Rah! Who's got the biggest dick in the world? Oosh. Oh dear. Yes, you will. Chat has already decided that we're going to be doing this next week. So, you can catch us next week reviewing another episode of Dynamite, and if you ever want us to review any other show, like if you ever want us to review WWE Raw, you can get fucked, because I'm not doing that. I was a little aggressive, but also I'm not doing that.
One WWE thing, and it was the women's thing.
The Royal Rumble.
That's it.
That's right. You did
August
come over
was
and watch
there.
the Royal Rumble, and it was like a lackluster one, and I felt bad about it because I was like, damn.
Hey,
I can never show y'all good stuff, I guess.
2 words for you.
No.
You know, actually,
Yeah. Who's
gonna walk through the forbidden door and face MJF for the world title? Shane McMahon. Here comes the money.
Wouldn't it be Vince McMahon's other son?
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara.
Excuse you. You mean Sammy McMahon?
Sammy McMahon.
Sammy
I
Guevara.
when I read his Wikipedia earlier, it said he was born in Houston, Texas, to like an American mother and a Cuban father. Does that mean that Shane McMahon is Cuban?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm finding out so much.
Ruby asks, "Can I get you to review the Spider-Man movie? There's lots of fight scenes, so it's basically wrestling. Which Spider-Man movie? Because if you're
new
talking
one?
about Across the Spider-Verse, I would love to sit here and ramble about Across the Spider-Verse for 2 hours. If it's any other Spider-Man movie, there's like a 90% chance I haven't seen it, unless it's like the first Tom Holland one or the other Spider-Verse movie. I've never seen any of the others. That's not true. I saw Far From Home, and I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I thought there was someone behind me. I was looking at August and Maple's camera, and I thought August behind me in my house. You did not. I was like, who's here? Big Wheels, heart, miss you, V, excited to be able to tune in. Oh my god, hi! Hi, Kimmy. I love you too. The Spider-Verse movie. Does anyone want to review the Spider-Verse movie with me next week?
I'll see it Sunday.
Perfect.
already
We can do a perfect two-parter of reviewing Across the Spider-Verse, one of the best movies ever made, and the other best movie ever made, the one that CM Punk made. The woman on the third floor.
Third floor. I
Woman
think it's
on
something
third
like
floor.
that.
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up right now. Why didn't
But-
you like Far From Home? Because it was really boring. Also, Mysterio was not a good villain. Sorry
Right.
to all of my Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
the Ronald Mysterious. That's his full name. The Ronald Mysterious. I don't know. When I watched Far From Home, I got this like deep feeling of anger during it, which I have not felt while watching a movie in a long time. And Far From Home brought that out in me, which is funny because most people hated the first half of the movie and liked the second half. I'm the other way around. I like the part where it's like, oh, these kids are actually allowed to be kids for a while and go on a stupid trip, and then the other half of the movie is just a rehash of Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is an objectively much better movie. Huh?
We're doing a Midwestern goodbye.
I'm
We are. I was
Midwestern
literally
goodbying this
thinking
thing
that.
because now I'm talking about Spider-Man. Anyways, I'm gonna Google what that CM Punk movie name was. CM Punk
Okay, I'm-
movie.
The show without me, but I'll be back in a minute.
Girl
Well,
on
Yeah,
the
it's
Third
the girl-
Floor,
Might be still here.
2019.
Look, I made another pillow.
Found
3
it.
times.
It's free to watch right now on Tubi. Thank
Oh,
God.
fuck.
Tubi.
It has a
Tubi.
82% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's an hour and 33 minutes. Oh, thank God, it's short. That's amazing. That's so funny.
Hey.
When you Google CM Punk movies, it shows that he has been in Jacob's Wife, which is a horror movie that you can
Vampire movie.
he plays
Spooky
Deputy
guy.
Colton. That's kind of funny.
He plays a cop.
Yeah, a cop named Colton. That's possibly
That's
the funniest
funny.
thing he could have done. He was in Rabid, which is also a horror movie. That is poorly rated on Rotten Tomatoes. And then the other ones that he's been in is Flintstones, Stone Age Smackdown.
Hey, what a! I can't lie and say that was a good movie. I'm sorry, it was terrible.
What a filmography! He's been in Jacob's Wife. Good for him. Like
Look.
maybe that's what the shower cum was, is from Jacob's Wife. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching Recap. We're gonna come back to you next week, and that's been our show. Maple disappeared. That's been our show. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you were here for 3 minutes or 3 hours, God, what the fuck are you doing? Chugs was streaming right now. You could have went and watched Chugs play Legend
Hey,
of Zelda.
you could
and
like
you didn't.
exit. You could throw the people into his little stream.
Should I raid Chugs?
Yes, raid Chugs.
I'm gonna.
He
How do
will
I
say-
do that? I'm gonna see if
I don't know,
can
but
figure
he'll
out how to
say
do
your
that.
channel name. He'll like say
Hold
it.
on,
And be like, oh, thanks.
Twitch.tv.
Wait, I want to go and watch his little thing. So
Let
I
me
can
see what
it.
we can do, guys. Let's see if we can raid Chugs. Is he still streaming?
I think he's off. I don't see him.
I don't think he's streaming anymore. No,
Chugs.
Chugs.
I desperately one day
I
want you to
I
raid
don't think
his
he's
stream
streaming
because
anymore.
I personally think it'd be great.
No.
I
I'm
desperately
so
one
sad.
day want you
I
to
don't
raid
think
his
he's
stream
streaming
because
anymore. Okay.
yeah, he's not on.
We're doing a raid? Well, I thought we were, but as it turns out, he's not streaming anymore. That's a shame. Oh well. Yeah. Damn. That sucks. You know, if Orange Cassidy still streamed, we could have raided
He
him.
literally never streams anymore, and it's very upsetting. The last time he streamed was like a month ago or more.
We gotta tell him to come back. Like, excuse me, sir. I know you have a very busy schedule and a very busy life, but also, you should come
need you
watch
to
UK
react.
Gladiators. Alright, we're gonna stop Midwestern and goodbying you and actually end the stream for maybe like the 4th time, unless anyone has something else to say.
Wait. No.
That's the end of the stream. Alright, if you want to join in with me to do our exit, please feel free to do so, because we do the fast exit on these things. How does it go? How does the thing go that I've said every week? I must bid you all adieu.
Adieu.
And this is goodbye. Mwah, and good night.
Night.
Bang! Okay, thanks. Love you. Bye.